It's one of the oldest rivalries in professional sports, and as intense as any in the CFL. But traditionally, success for one has translated into failure for the other. In the last 2 years, the Argos have won 6 straight against Hamilton and a Grey Cup right in the Tabby's backyard. But in '98, the new-look Ticats are the class of the league and on a 6-game winning streak. The rivalry continues on the CFL Live tonight. Feel the hatred in the air, folks. Argos, Ticats. The rivalry continues tonight on CFL Live. Hey everybody, James Duthie along with Eric Tillman and Chris Schultz. Gather around, kids, it's story time. Once upon a time, there was a group of boatmen who lived next door to some cats. Now for years, the boatmen picked on those pussy cats. But then the cats got big and strong and mean, and tonight they are out for revenge. And I tell you what, Eric Tillman, if they get that revenge, those boatmen will be in big trouble.
James, you're right. If the Argos have any hopes at all of winning the Eastern Division, this is really a must-win situation for them. If they lose tonight, they're 4 games behind the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and if Montreal wins tomorrow night, they're 3 games behind the Owls. What does third place mean to Montreal? It means, to Toronto, it means if they're going to get back to the Grey Cup, they would have to win 2 playoff games on the road, 2 games outdoors, and 2 games with no running attack. So this really is a must-win for the Argos tonight, Chris, and if they lose, they're behind the 8 ball. Big time.
You know what? But I tell you, the most important thing to me is not just the players, but the 2 coaches for each team. The offensive coordinator, John Jenkins, for the Toronto Argonauts, and the defensive coordinator, Don Sutherland, for the Hamilton Ticats. Each has to be patient in their premeditated practice plans, so if they get ahead by too much, they don't get too cocky in this game, and if they get behind by too much, they don't get conservative, or they don't panic and get out of their game plan. I really think this game will boil down to the 1 or 2 big plays and the mistakes, as most football games do, but I played in a few. The emotions will be riding high. We have an opportunity for an excellent game tonight, James.
I tell you what, another guy who played in a few of these is on our crew. He is Leif Patterson, and he is with Gord Miller at Skydome. Guys?
Leif, the Ticat defense hasn't been this good since you played for them. With all the talk about the changes in Hamilton this year on offense, maybe the defense gets forgotten, and maybe health on defense is a big part of that.
I think you're right, Gordon. You look to some of the changes that Hamilton's made. I mean, Orlando Steinhauer tied for the league lead in interceptions last year. He can't even play corner anymore because they're better in that spot. He moves to inside safety. When you do that, make those kind of positive changes, you know you've got a great defense. And look what they've done throughout 7 weeks this year in 1998. They're either first or second in 20 of 25 defensive categories, and the statistics that I like are those quarterback sacks, and when you get a lot of sacks and a lot of pressure, usually your interception totals are right up there as well, and Hamilton, of course, leads the league with 20, but you know, you talk about the new head coach, Ron Lancaster, Danny McManus, all this stuff, as you've mentioned, but to me, the heart and soul of this team is defense, as it always has been historically in Hamilton.
Hamilton's tough enough to score on. The Argos are making it tough scoring on themselves. Last week against Montreal, 450 yards in total offense, but they scored just 2 touchdowns. You hate to mention his name, but in Doug Flutie's day, they would have had more than that.
Well, they had great production with Doug Flutie, but unfortunately he's not here anymore. But, you know, when you look at this team as opposed to a year ago, the offensive production really isn't as bad as people might think. The only thing that's bad is they're just not scoring a lot of points, as you mentioned. But the one thing that they have to do is to take advantage of their opportunities. Last week, a lot of offense, not a lot of points. 2 weeks ago against Winnipeg, they just didn't score a lot on their opportunities either. Tonight against a great Hamilton defense, Kerwin Bell, when he gets in the red zone, these guys really have to dedicate themselves to not making any mental mistakes as they have in the past, scoring some points and getting the job done if they want to win this one.
Well, if you're going to do your last game, you can pick an opponent. Hamilton-Toronto has to be the one.
It's a dandy.
And we look forward to seeing it, James.
All right, thanks very much, guys. There is another game tonight, a rivalry out west. The 5-2 Stampeders taking on the 3-4 Lions. Joe Pow returning to BC as an assistant coach. Now here in Toronto, more than 24 busloads have come up from Hamilton for the game. Oh, Ticats are ready, the fans are ready, we're ready. Kickoff is coming right up.
When you sweat, Gatorade wants you to peel it off for a chance to win. Look under specially marked Gatorade labels for your chance at over 1 million prizes. You could instantly win a Nintendo 64-game system or pro sports gear licensed by the NBA, NFL, CFL, CHA, or Major League Baseball. And if you don't win instantly, don't sweat it. Collect Gator points and redeem them for your favorite pro sports gear. Or get to a Gatorade TSN sampling zone for more ways to win. Hit tsn.ca/Gatorade for details. It's going to get hot this summer, so quench your thirst with Gatorade and peel it off for a chance to win.
When you're a champion, you've got to work night and day to protect your title. Everyone wants to put you to the test, to make you sweat. But if you've got antibacterial odor fighters in your corner and 24-hour wetness protection, the kind you find in new Speed Stick Ultimate Antiperspirant, the best speed stick ever, you'll be a star in and out of the ring. New Speed Stick Ultimate, tough 24-hour protection.
5 minutes.
Your favorite CFL team now has their logo on your favorite credit card. It's the CFL MasterCard credit card. Support your team and take advantage of the benefits that over 346 million MasterCard cardholders worldwide are enjoying. Each stylized card has your team's logo on it. So support your team 12 months a year and pull out your card. Call 1-877-4CFL now for your CFL MasterCard credit card. When you pay with us, you play with us.
You're never too young or too old to enjoy the fresh squeezed taste of McCain Premium Frozen Concentrated Orange Juice. McCain uses the concentrated juice of 14 premium oranges in every can, 100% pure juice. It also comes in 3 more refreshing and nutritious orange varieties for your family to enjoy. Here's to happiness, life, and family from McCain.
CFL Live on TSN is brought to you by Gatorade. Is it in you? And by the new Speed Stick Ultimate Antiperspirant for tough 24-hour protection.
The roof is open on a beautiful night in Toronto for the Argos and Ticats first meeting of the regular season. The Ticats come in at 6-1. The Argonauts are 3-4. It's a beautiful night, 24 degrees. There is a wind blowing. In the open end of the stadium, it'll blow from left to right as you look at it. Ron Lancaster last week secured back-to-back wins over his old team, the Edmonton Eskimos, and the win last week was his 100th as a CFL coach, including the playoffs. Don Matthews is the winningest coach in CFL history, but he has not lost 4 games in a season since his first year with the then Baltimore Stallions. Noel Prefontaine kicks it off, and we are underway at Skydome. Archie Amerson from the 25-yard line bobbles the football, simply falls on it there, and that's where the Ticats will start. Not great field position for the Hamilton offense, led by 9-year veteran Danny McManus, who's had 3 straight 4,000-yard passing seasons. Greg and Olive on the outside, Maury Alley, the Hamilton native, and Darren Flutie on the inside of the main targets. Ronald Williams and Archie Amerson in the backfield, along with Danny McManus. And the offensive line for the Hamilton Ticats has allowed the fewest sacks in the Canadian Football League this year, just 5 allowed in 7 games.
Well, you talk about changes from a year ago. I mean, that offensive line is one of the biggest improvements that this club has made.
McManus from the shotgun and first down. Quick hit over the middle. And he's got it there to Andrew Grigg for a gain of maybe 3. Check that. Bobby Olive with the catch. Mike O'Shea, the tackle.
And the defense that Danny McManus will work against. A lot of newcomers up front, but they've had great production from Jermaine Haley and Todrick McIntosh, the newcomers. Demetrius Maxey, a holdover. Mike O'Shea, a great middle linebacker. And, of course, a terrific secondary that the Argonauts put together. I've been so impressed with Clifton Abraham on the corner. He had big shoes to fill in Adrian Smith's, but he's done a great job.
Game was 5 at 2nd and 5. The ball comes loose, but it's ruled an incomplete pass by referee Jake Ireland. The Ticats will go 2 and out on their opening offensive possession.
Well, good pressure on the initial series for the Toronto defense. They're going to need a lot of it. Here comes Todrick McIntosh, number 94 from the top of your screen, and he's going to get it. It's just a quick speed rush right around Dave Hackett. He knocks the arm loose for Danny McManus, so a high-flying offense for the Ticats is stopped with a good defensive effort for the Toronto Argonauts as they begin this game.
Ballison having a great year for Toronto is back to punt. Lester Smith is back there to receive along with the newcomer Steve Smith, number 4. Osbaldiston with the win gets a good kick away to Lester Smith at his 35-yard line. Smith up to the 45, and he is stopped there by Franco Roca, a 46-yard punt and a return of 5. And so the Argonaut offense will go to work with the CFL's #1 rated passer, Kerwin Bell, at the controls. He's joined by Clemens and Dimitrition in the backfield. Daryl Mitchell is the league's leading receiver by a runaway margin. Paul Mazzotti, the Hamilton native, is in his 11th year at the wide receiver position, and the offensive line has had to make some changes, but the key men are Dwayne Morgan and Willie Williams at the tackles. Argo started their 46. Flags are down. Bell, quick throw to Mike Clemens. The pass is over his head and incomplete. And right away, we see the Ticats with 7 defensive backs in the game to combat the Argo passing attack.
And Joe Montford, who you see right there, got a great shot on Kerwin Bell as he released that football. Terrific front four for the Ticats. Montford maybe the best rush end in the league right now. Calvin Tiggle having a tremendous year. Former Toronto Argonaut at middle linebacker. Without question, the best secondary in the CFL right now. This group has 20 interceptions. The next closest is Calgary with 10. Is that impressive or what?
Ticats jump there on the first play. It'll be 1st and 5 Argos from their 51. To Mike Clemens, and the pinball gets maybe a yard. Joe Montford got in there to help make the stop along with the middle linebacker Calvin Tiggle, the former Toronto Argonaut.
And for Kerwin Bell, you know, he really does not have a whole lot of plan B this year. Those are his numbers as he has come back from the broken arm this season. But Gord, they are a throwing football team right now. They only average about 79 yards a game on the ground, which is currently last in the CFL. So you look at how this team has changed from a year ago. Obviously, with Flutie and Drummond and a few people gone, they are different. They are not running the football very well.
Bell the shotgun now on 2nd and 5. Quick throw, and he's got his man Mazzotti, but Mazzotti can't hang on to the football as he was being worked over by Bobby Love. Ticats thought they got it back, but it is ruled an incompletion, and both defenses stand tall in the early moments of this game.
Well, the thing I like about the Hamilton secondary is they just have such tremendous team speed. And, you know, Eric Carter and Reggie Love were right there just as Mazzotti made the catch. What a hit by Reggie Love, and that ball just comes loose. So, as Gord mentioned, 2 terrific opening defensive stands for both clubs.
Noel Prefontaine, the rookie out of San Diego State, will punt it for the Argos. He was the top punter in U.S. college football last year. Bobby Olive is back to return the kick for the Ticats, along with Orlando Steinauer. This is Steinauer from his 13-yard line, slips on the wet turf, and runs into trouble immediately from the Argos. A 45-yard punt, a return of 3. Maurice Miller made the stop, and the Ticats will once again be hemmed in deep, thanks to some trouble on special teams.
Well, I mean, this is not a new story, but when Danny McManus and his offense is having such great success, you really want to make them play on a long field. And with Noel Prefontaine averaging over 48 yards a punt, I mean, Toronto has a chance to do this. They cover kicks exceptionally well. And, boy, Danny McManus, there you see those 2,100-plus yards. He is the leading passer in the league in that department.
Deep in the backfield, takes the ball on 1st down, and Amerson gets nothing. Demetrius Maxey all over him. A gain of perhaps a yard as this Argo defense toughens up against the run, led by Maxey, who is a key man now for the Argos thanks to changes along the defensive line. And really, when you think about the loss of Rob Waldrop, so big for the Argos in the offseason.
Well, you look at Reggie Gibbons, Rob Waldrop, Andrew Stewart, 3 starters that are not here from a year ago. So Demetrius Maxey has really stepped up and filled the void, because this front four, although it's new, it's pretty darn good.
2nd and 9 now for the Ticats. Ball over the middle, almost intercepted by Lester Smith on the tip. And Hamilton has run 4 offensive plays. They have fallen incomplete as he was looking for Darren Flutie there.
And, you know, I mean, Danny McManus would love to get off to a good start, but this is pretty shaky. That's solid protection right there. He just simply overthrows Darren Flutie. That was an easy ball to complete. He just couldn't get the job done. So a quick 2-and-out again for the Ticats on their second possession.
This coming after 2 great weeks for the Ticat offense against the Edmonton defense. The Ticats scored nearly 100 points in the back-to-back games with Edmonton. Osbaldiston now backed up to his 5 now to punt this ball with the win. Low end-over-end kick. Bouncing towards the sidelines. It'll go out of bounds at the Argo 49-yard line. 10:30 to play in the opening quarter. The Argos have the ball in a scoreless game at Skydome.
Play Safeway's $1 million touchdown to win for your chance to win $1 million. If your name appears, it means you could win $1 million if 2 kickoffs are returned for touchdowns in today's game. Now there's a million more reasons to shop at Safeway. Today's better way.
Base Camp the Forester report.
Me? I'm doing great. This Subaru Forester is a blast to drive. It's got a lot more horsepower than a CRV. This all-wheel drive goes through anything. Handles easy as a cart.
Yes, I know all about the Forester. I meant your mission. Did you rendezvous with your partner?
Oh, she's gonna pay for this.
Subaru Forester. Sport utility tough. Car easy.
The greatest show on turf will blow you away this summer. See the lions, ferocious tiger cats, performing horses, and the one and only human pinball. CFL 1998. It's the greatest show on turf. Radically Canadian and radically affordable. For Toronto Argo ticket info, call toll-free 1-888-654-6529.
TSN's got your Video Golf magazine. It's a weekly wrap-up of the golf tour. Catch Acura World of Golf on TSN.
This is where it all happens. Expos, Reds, TSN, Sunday.
Call the Humane Society. There's a cat being abused here at Skydome tonight. But you know what? There's a few Hamilton fans here. They say 30 buses of Ticat fans made the trip down the Queen Elizabeth Way to be at Skydome tonight. Excited about their 6-1 tabbies.
They should be.
Argos start at their 49-yard line in the scoreless first quarter. All kinds of early movement. And play is once again called. Worth noting that Ticats are riding a 6-game winning streak, their longest since 1972.
Procedure. Toronto number 12. Still first down.
Kerwin Bell called for illegal procedure. That was a Grey Cup year for the Ticats.
And, I mean, to think that their opening game of the season in Calgary, they lost it in the last quarter. I mean, they could very easily be 7-0.
They had a 14-point lead in the second half of that game and wound up losing in Calgary. Ron Lancaster averaged 12 wins a year as the coach of the Eskimos. Hamilton's had one 12-win season in its history. Bell from the shotgun on 1st and 15. Swings it out of the backfield. That's incomplete again for the pinball. And the newcomer there to the Hamilton secondary, Reggie Love, is with him step for step.
And Gord, I think it's really interesting to note early what Hamilton is doing on defense. You see Reggie Love come in the game. He is the nickel back. He has replaced Justin Ring, their regular outside linebacker. So now with Frank West at the other outside linebacking spot, who was originally a defensive back, they've got 7 defensive backs in the game right now. And essentially what Ron Lancaster is saying to Toronto, hey, we know you can't run the football, so we're going to put little guys in there. We're going to cover all your fast guys. And so far they've been able to do it.
Love stays in the game on 2nd and 15. Bell again from the shotgun, trying to screen it over the middle, and Love all over pinball again as the pass falls incomplete. Reggie Love played his first CFL game last week and had an interception in the game.
Well, the Ticats come with all kinds of pressure up the middle. I mean, you see Tiggle coming. He comes 3 there. There's nobody to pick him. Kerwin Bell knows he's got to get the football off quickly. Look at Tiggle right in his face. And, you know, again, both quarterbacks having trouble getting on target tonight. The pass is being high, and clearly that's because they're being hurried. They're not in their normal rhythm. So defense is dominating early in this game, which, again, is not that surprising.
Well, Prefontaine to punt it. Bobby Olive, the first-year man out of Ohio State, is back to receive in a defensive-dominated football game so far. Prefontaine gets a low driving kick away. Olive will field it at his 33-yard line, falls on the football. No yards will be the call against the Argos as the ball was bouncing down on a 33-yard punt. But Hamilton gets the ball for the third time in this football game, and the Ticats have yet to cross their own 50-yard line.
You know, Gord, you talked about Danny McManus' 9 years in the league, but I think what people really don't realize is that he's only been a true starter for the last 4 years, and everybody's always talked about, well, Danny McManus throws a lot of interceptions, which he has done historically, thrown more than he has touchdowns throughout his career. But you know what? Last year, he threw more touchdowns than interceptions for the first time, and this year, again, he's off to a great start with 10 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. You know, he's only started for 4 years, and it takes a quarterback a long time, even though he's been in the league for 9. And boy, is his game ever elevated to a high level.
On first down, McManus in the shotgun, and the pass is incomplete again as he was looking for Bobby Olive again. And he's off to a slow start there. Clifton Abraham was there on the coverage.
You know, I said as we looked at the starting lineups for Toronto, Clifton Abraham has really impressed me. He had to replace Donald Smith, an all-star, and in the games that I've seen Toronto play, this guy has been sensational. It's a tough spot to play as a rookie, but I have yet to see him make a mistake. A couple weeks ago against Winnipeg, he just shut everybody down, and tonight he's been I mean, you can't cover any better than he just did.
First-year man replacing all-star Adrian Smith on the corner for the Argos. On second down, McManus again under pressure. This time he has it complete to Andrew Gregg, but Gregg will be 2 yards short of a first down as he is brought down there by Marcelo Simmons. And Simmons is slow to get up. Antonius Bonner came in to help on the stop as well. Marcelo Simmons, who scored a touchdown last year in the Labor Day meeting against Hamilton, scooping up a fumble.
Well, you don't want to talk about last year's meetings between these two teams with any Hamilton players, but a good play by Simmons to come up and not allow Gregg to get those extra few yards for a first down. And, you know, it's tackles like that that are the little things in games that add up to big things, because that easily could have been a first down, but the effort by Simmons keeps them short enough that they're going to have to punt.
Paul Osbaldiston, the new improved Paul Osbaldiston. 34 years old. He shed some pounds in the offseason.
He says he shed 25. I don't believe him. I want to put him on the Toledo and check that out.
TV adds weight, I heard. So
I actually look at that. I mean, he is a little thinner.
Kick off the side of his foot, bounces down to Smith at the 20-yard line. Smith breaking ahead, gets not much, out to about the 26. A 44-yard punt by Osbaldiston is helped by the bounce. No score between Hamilton and Toronto on the CFL Live on TSN.
Welcome to Nanaimo, home of the bar, and Vern Goldsberry's Midas.
Vern is an honest guy, and it's got a breath that's very minty.
Hi, I'm Vern Goldsberry, and this is my family.
Midas does a good job at a fair price and has a nice current selection of magazines.
Car care, dental care, it's all about trust.
Vern over there at Midas, he saves me quite a bit of money. It's not like I'm a philanthropist.
Right now, Midas is offering our famous front or rear disc brake service package for the incredible price of just $99.95.
Midas Car Care, the way it should be.
This is my guy. He's got a group of friends. Don't ask me why they act this way. I guess they must be friends. Boys will be boys, girls try to understand. It's freezing cold. They won't be told. Do they listen? Do they hear? No! This is our fear.
Black lightning, so frightening. Lightning got a hex on me.
Black lightning. New black lightning. Give your thirst the heebie-jeebies.
Our thanks to the Toronto Argonauts for lifting the blackout on tonight's game. And a reminder, if you're in the Toronto area, the number to call for tickets to see a Toronto game at Skydome. So we're coast to coast tonight for Hamilton and Toronto.
Yeah, it's without question the biggest crowd that the Argonauts have had this season. And they're waiting for some action.
As are we. First and 10 for the Argos from their 29-yard line. Bell in the shotgun. Flags are down. There was early movement. Bell's going over the top looking for Nigel Williams. He's got it. And he's brought down at the 30-yard line. Stopped there by Eric Carter. The question is, who moved?
Hamilton, number 77, declined.
The penalties against Hamilton, it's declined, and the pickup is 51 yards.
Oh, what a contribution Nigel Williams has made to the Argonauts since they got him in a trade from Montreal. He was the last piece of the puzzle in this receiving core. He can play inside, he can play outside. He lines up at wide receiver against Eric Carter. No slouch as a one-on-one corner, and just with his speed and height, he shields off Carter, makes a great catch, and finally the biggest play of this first quarter for the Argonauts gets them on the move. But, you know, at 6'4", 206, he is a tough guy for a smaller defensive back to get around, and that was a perfect throw by Bell.
First trip across midfield for the Argos. Bell's under pressure from Montford and gets away. Now Bell's in trouble, takes a shot as he gets down to the 32-yard line, and Kerwin Bell, who had his bell rung a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, was fortunate he didn't suffer more damage there.
Well, initially, great pressure. Here's Joe Montford at the top. He goes up and then comes underneath Dwayne Morgan. And how in the world Kerwin Bell ever got away from this, I do not know, because he is not that fleet of foot. But Joe Montford has him right here, and Kerwin Bell somehow gets away. And watch, he's going to take a heck of a shot from Jeff Cummins. There's 99 coming into your screen. And boy, Bell has taken some serious shots in the last few weeks.
Loss of a couple on that play, 2nd and 12. Shovel pass for Daryl Mitchell, goes off the leg and is incomplete.
Drilled a forward pass.
Jeff Cummins got eyes as big as saucers when he saw that ball bouncing.
He was thinking, I don't know if I can go this far.
The shovel pass, a remnant of Toronto's offense last year.
Now here comes Mitchell, and actually they had a pretty good haul, although Reggie Love was close to sealing it off had he needed to, but Cummins was thinking he gives it a little boot.
And so we got our first look at the new place kicker for the Argos, Eric Begos, who made his debut last week, 2 for 2 in his opening CFL game out of the University of Waterloo. When's the last time you saw a duckbill face mask in the CFL?
When I played in Pop Warner when I was about 6 years old. That is a brutal looking face mask.
This try from 40 yards out. Begos puts it up, and it is good. Quack, quack. The Argos lead by 3. Well, bringing in Begos, of course, was the Argos' solution to the problem they had at the start of the year when Noel Prefontaine was struggling mightily with field goals. He went 1 for 6 in a loss to Edmonton, but Begos so far is perfect as a Toronto Argonaut.
You and I saw him in the Churchill Bowl last year with the University of Waterloo, and I mean, he was an all-Canadian, had great credentials, and you know, you have to like how the Argos have done this. They thought Prefontaine would get the job done, but no disrespect to him, he just wasn't, and Begos was available. He brought him in. He looked good in the few-day trials that he had. And you know, I don't think there's any question Noel Prefontaine is still going to be a terrific kicker, but it was a good move. And, hey, as you said, he's 3 for 3. How can you criticize that?
I think they gave Begos Zenon Andrusic's old helmet.
That is a bad face mask.
They dusted that one off from the old Exhibition Stadium days. They're tearing down Exhibition Stadium. In fact, a lot of the work being done this week. Maybe they dusted off that old helmet from the cellar down there.
I don't know.
Noel Prefontaine will perform the kickoff chores for the Argos.
When you have a face mask that low and that bad, is there a rule? I don't know about that you have to wear one, because he might as well not even have one on there.
I think you do have to wear something.
You have to wear one?
You have to make a token attempt to wear something.
You know all the rules. I have to ask you every once in a while.
Prefontaine sends a low driving kick, bouncing to Archie Amerson at the 25-yard line. Amerson waiting for the wall to develop, gets out to the 43. This will be Hamilton's best field position of the game so far, with 5:48 to play in the first quarter.
I think Danny McManus, although he's handed off to Archie Amerson only once so far in this game, he's got to get him involved in their back-to-back victories over Edmonton. Archie Amerson had well over 100 yards receiving and rushing in both of those games. In fact, over 100 yards receiving in one and over 100 yards rushing in the other. So, you know, he is a real weapon in that backfield for Danny McManus, and I think he's got to touch the football soon.
Amerson lined up deep in the backfield along with Ronald Williams. Pass to you shall receive. Amerson out across the 45 to about the 47-yard line.
But Gord, when you look at this Hamilton team, and I mean, obviously they are different from a year ago, but how different are they? Well, they were last in rushing a year ago. They only averaged about 85 yards a game. This year, They're up over 100 yards a game rushing, and I know Ron Lancaster, as a head coach, really emphasized that. He wasn't able to do it the last couple of years in Edmonton, but with Hamilton, he really wants to have a better ball control team than they did a year ago, and he's getting it.
McManus on second down. Under pressure, going for Morreale. The pass is over his head and incomplete. We've talked about the fact this is a Hamilton-Toronto rivalry. It's also a renewal of the McManus-Kerwin-Bell rivalry, going back to their college days.
Yeah, Bell was at the University of Florida, and Danny McManus, of course, Florida State, with an intense rivalry. So these guys have been not only through big rivalries before, but rivalries where they have faced each other, and Kerwin-Bell was mentioning that yesterday. And Danny McManus is not off to the start that he would have envisioned for this game, but to Toronto's credit, they are coming up, playing very tight on a good Hamilton receiving corps. They're not giving these receivers any room to maneuver, and they're having to work a little extra harder than they normally have to.
McManus is 2 for 6 passing to start the game. Paulson has been the busiest tie-catch so far. A low driving kick to Steve Smith back at his 15-yard line. Smith's a speedster trying to get outside. Rob Hitchcock prevented him from doing so. A 51-yard punt, a 15-yard return.
Welcome to Nanaimo, home of the bar, and Vern Goldsberry's Midas.
Vern is an honest guy, and it's got a breath that's very minty.
Hi, I'm Vern Goldsberry, and this is my family.
And Midas does a good job at a fair price and has a nice current selection of magazines.
Car care, dental care, it's all about trust.
Vern over there at Midas, he saves me quite a bit of money. It's not like I'm a philanthropist.
Right now, Midas is offering our famous front or rear disc brake service package for the incredible price of just $99.95.
Midas Car Care, the way it should be.
If you're not in the stadium, you're really not in the Grey Cup.
CFL football is one tough game. Touch football is one fun game. Football Canada and Football Ontario invite you to have some fun. Join one of the many adult touch football leagues across Canada. The Canadian Football League, along with Molson Canadians, support their efforts. Call Football Canada or Football Ontario and get in the game.
3-0, the Argos lead the Ticats. Here's David Amber with more from the sidelines.
Thanks, Gord. Yeah, you know, Mike O'Shea, it might be a little early to be calling him a prophet, but he did say before this game the Argos wanted to reestablish themselves as the top defense in the league. So far, they've been in Danny McManus' face quite a bit. He says Hamilton's getting all the press, being leading 13 of 25 defensive categories, but he says that they are the #1 defense, and so far he's living up to that. Back to you, Gord.
Right now, it's the Ticat defense on the field as Kerwin-Bell is able to dump the football off and get it up there to Andrew English. English should have a first down for the Argos, and he does. A gain of 12 for the ex-BC Lion.
Now, this is really a strong man-to-man defense. One of the few times they've been in zone tonight, and they just let English sit out there on the sidelines and spread the secondary out. When you catch them in a zone, what you want to do is stretch that as far as you can, and English just sat out there, and to Bell's credit, he picked them out, and the Argonauts have, I believe, their second first down of the game, the one long pass, and now this one to English.
From the 36, Bell remains in the shotgun, gunning it over the middle for Daryl Mitchell, who's got the catch at midfield. Daryl Mitchell, who leads the league in receiving by 160 yards and leads the league in catches by 16 receptions, has another big gain of 18.
Yeah, and he has a great feel for coming over the middle. Here he is right here, and he's going to work on Frank West, the kind of pseudo linebacker, but Daryl Mitchell, really watch him now. When he gets into open territory, watch how he slows down. Right now, he knows he's in the hole. All he has to do is wait for the football. It's a good read by Bell to get it into the hole, knowing his receiver will be there waiting for him.
First down for the Argos, and they give it off to the pinball. Mike Clemens out of that shotgun formation takes a lot of abuse. Joe Monfort able to wrap him up along with Gonzalo Floyd. Maybe a gain of 1 for the pinball.
You know, Gord, I did some projections with Daryl Mitchell coming into the game. 64 catches, had some tonight, but that would project out to 165 receptions over the season. His yardage, a whopping 1,946. Can he keep up that pace? I don't think so, but he's off to a great start and certainly is the biggest weapon in the Argonaut offense right now.
Only 2 touchdowns, though, and that's symptomatic of what's happened with Toronto this year.
Absolutely.
Gain of less than a yard for pinball on second down. Bell swings it out, and it's caught by the fullback, Dwayne Dimitrishi, who goes out of bounds at the 40-yard line of the Ticats. Dimitrishi had a great Vanier Cup game in this building some 9 years ago as a big first down for Toronto.
Well, as you see an end zone replay here, watch the offensive line in Toronto. They pick up the double stunt by Hamilton, and really that's been a problem for them the last few weeks. They haven't protected the quarterback, but a terrific job there to pick up the stunt and allow Bell the time to pick out Dwayne Dimitrishi and keep this drive going rather. But the line has given up 26 sacks, worst in the league. But to their credit, they're getting better and better each week and only gave up 2 against a strong Montreal pass rush a week ago.
On first down, Bell remaining in the shotgun for most of this game. As time passes, tip goes to Daryl Mitchell, and he's got room to run. Mitchell around the corner. And finally run down by Eric Carter at the 13-yard line. Mitchell again with a big game, this time 27 yards.
Well, again, a lot of credit goes to the offensive line of Toronto Argonauts. Watch this. Good protection for Bell. He's standing tall up on that front foot. They're not long passes to complete. The ball was tipped just a little bit, but to Mitchell's credit, he had the concentration to hang on. And, well, this is a heck of a drive that they finally put together and done it all with the passing game.
Yeah, the run has been really a non-factor here. Pinball with a gain of 1 has really been the only rushing play the Argos have had. Now from the shotgun. Bell under pressure is sacked. Joe Monfort didn't miss him that time. The Argos, who have given up more sacks than any team in the league, are victimized by Joe Monfort.
Well, his 8th sack this season. You'll see him come from the left side of your screen, and it's just quickness as he beats Willie Williams, number 65, and Williams is going to have to get out there a little quicker on that play. But, you know, just when Toronto was driving, you know, here the big defensive play by Monfort. You like those arms, do you?
Look, they pour him into that uniform.
But this has been typically Toronto's problem the last few weeks. Mistake in the red zone, and now they're stuck behind the 8 ball.
Second and a bundle. Bell to the end zone for Mitchell. Touchdown! Nothing like the league's leading receiver to get you out of a hole. Daryl Mitchell with his 3rd touchdown reception of the year.
Well, what a great adjustment to the football by Daryl Mitchell. He wanted to take it to the corner over his outside shoulder, but whether Bell did this on purpose, only he knows. He threw it to the inside. He sees the blitz coming. He goes to his big play guy in man-to-man coverage with Frank West, but tremendous body control by Mitchell to turn around and adjust to the football, locate it, and make the catch, and hey, that was a great drive.
Eric B goes for the point after. It is good, just like old times for the Argos. A 10-0 lead on Hamilton with 26 seconds to go in the opening quarter.
Well, you talk about old times. How many times would Doug Flutie just throw it up knowing that his receiver had enough skill and athleticism to adjust and make the play? And you're going to see Daryl Mitchell right in the middle of your screen. There he is. And, you know, watch it. He's looking outside. Let me tell you, that is a tough play to turn all the way around, locate the football, and make the catch. That's terrific.
Daryl Mitchell has 3 catches in this opening quarter for 70 yards and a touchdown. He's already had 3 100-yard receiving games this year.
Oh, he's had a great year. And, you know, offensively, when you know you're up against the #1 defense in the league and you have struggled in point production the last few weeks, this really helps your confidence. They struggle on their first couple of possessions, but now put a beautiful drive together. And, you know, the guys are making big plays. Daryl Mitchell with a short catch and a lot of great yards after the catch, and now the touchdown reception on an excellent athletic play.
And Vigos now to kick it off. Less than a minute to go in the quarter.
You know, this game is all about emotion, feeling good about yourself, what your schemes are, what you're trying to do. And, you know, that drive for Toronto goes a long way to restoring their confidence.
Archie Emerson takes the kickoff at the 16-yard line. Hamilton needs some kind of big play. Amerson will get up close to the 40 as Calvin Tiggo makes the stop. What a drive by the Toronto Argonauts, though, as they cut through the league's #1 defense. Daryl Mitchell making big catches as they go. And, of course, the passing game, as you mentioned, is pretty much accounting for all of Toronto's offense this season. Daryl Mitchell caps it off with a 25-yard touchdown.
Well, essentially, they did it with a lot of underneath routes, crossing routes, and then, of course, they go for the big one over the top, which they've been successful twice tonight, once to Williams, of course, and the previous series they got a field goal with Nigel Williams making a big catch in the post play.
Ticats start from their 40. McManus dumps it off for Archie Amerson. Out to the 46-yard line he goes, and a gain of 6.
Gord, it's going to be interesting tonight to watch the Toronto defense and to see what the philosophy might be. They historically, more than 50% of their sacks have come from linebackers or defensive backs. I'm not sure they can take that chance against McManus tonight. He's been reading the blitz so well all season.
So far, so good for the Argo defense. It has not allowed a point in the football game as Toronto takes a 10-0 lead after the opening quarter.
You're watching CFL Live, and we're at the quarter. Here's your host, James Duffy.
All right, welcome back to TSN Football Control. You know, Hamilton fans can't be happy about this. They get all hyped for the game all week long, and Toronto dominates the first quarter. Hamilton goes 2 and out every time they had the ball in that first quarter, and the Toronto offense also moving it, and it all started with this play. And Chris, key one for the Argos.
Very key one for the Argos, and you look at this, the separation created by Nigel Williams' speed with Eric Carter, but really, Rob Hitchcock has to have the ability to support that inside-out pattern, that post pattern. That's critical. The Argos are going to go back to this play again and again, once a quarter. The scouting report on Rob Hitchcock, great run supporter, but you can use his lack of speed against him. He has to jump on that play earlier, but good quarter for the Toronto Argonauts.
You're right. It is a solid first quarter for them. John Jenkins and staff doing a great job with motion and with multiple formations to confuse the Hamilton defense. And I think when you throw the ball effectively deep, as they've done twice now to Nigel Williams and to Daryl Mitchell, it opens up a lot of things underneath, James. So a good first quarter for the Argos.
Yeah, and a couple of those Argos making early plays to be players of the week. Of course, there's a long way to go. Let's check out our players of the week from last week. Jeff Garcia, of course, with that great performance for Calgary. Andre Strode on defense, and Jamie Crysdale, another Stampeder, the top lineman. And those Stamps and those Lions, well, they're at it later on tonight, our next game. So if you're watching this one out in BC, watch this and go out and see the other game. Second quarter action, here's Gordon Lee.
Thanks, guys. 7 plays, 84 yards for the Argos, who finish a drive and move the ball impressively. Daryl Mitchell with a 25-yard touchdown reception. The runaway winner of the Rookie of the Year award last year is the runaway leader in the receiving department in the Canadian Football League this year.
From rookie to MVP.
Ooh, that's a bold statement.
It's early.
Jeff Garcia is probably not watching since he's playing later tonight, but he might have something to say about that, and Danny McManus for the Ticats may have something to say as well.
Wow, that's a long way to go, but what a terrific start that Daryl Mitchell's had personally, and he has really carried this offense so far.
Ticats did not record a first down in the opening quarter. Now facing 2nd and 5. Here comes the blitz. McManus over the top for Bobby Olive. Hand fighting down there. It falls incomplete. And the coverage step for step provided by Clifton Abraham.
And Bobby Olive did a terrific, subtle job to push off from Clifton Abraham. Abraham laughing because he really feels like he was interfered with. You're going to see at the top of your screen, if just at the end of this play, the subtle push by Bobby Olive, but he just couldn't gain enough separation to make that catch. Again, McManus, though, against the blitz, he sure read the right place to go. He just couldn't connect.
Oswaldson to punt. The Argos, despite using 5 different punt returners this year, lead the league in punt return yards.
Well, they've had some awful luck with injuries, bad luck with injuries back there. Seems like every week someone new has to fill that role.
Oswaldson to Lester Smith. And he collides with Steve Smith. Lester Smith comes away with it at the 30 and breaks away. Smith out across midfield. Tripped up as Jared Smith got a piece of him. But that miscommunication might have led to the good return.
Well, when that happens, how many times you get a big play because you could throw a blanket over the cover guys from the Hamilton punt cover team. Watch when this ball is on the ground, how many Ticats just converge to that area. I mean, look at this. There's all pretty near the whole punt cover team is there, and Lester Smith breaks loose and gets some great yardage, but you must have 8, 9 guys sitting in one little spot, and Argos get a big return.
A 40-yard punt, a 40-yard return. The Argos have it at the Hamilton 45. Bell from the shotgun. Drops it off underneath and completes to Andrew English. He's got a first down and a bunch. Collides with his own teammate, Daryl Mitchell, and gets down to the 26-yard line. Confusion, misdirection, what's going on out there?
Well, there's confusion. I'll tell you who's not confused is the offensive line of the Toronto Argonauts. They are doing just a tremendous job. Watch the pocket that they create for Kerwin Bell. Is this a good passing lane downfield? Look at that. Right there to Andrew English. That is the easiest catch he's ever going to make. Got lots of room. So, you know what? They've stretched out the defense, as Eric Tillman in the studio said, with over the top. Now they're killing Hamilton with the underneath pattern.
First down. Bell to the end zone. Mitchell incomplete. Orlando Steinauer is there with him. Crowd calling for pass interference as Steinauer had the hands up in his face, but it falls incomplete.
Well, you look at the production that Kerwin Bell's had in this first half. 7 of 12, 161 yards. That's terrific already. 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Almost connecting with Daryl Mitchell on this play, but you give a guy like Kerwin Bell with his experience this amount of time to throw, and remember, they're going against the best sacking defense in the league right now, so tremendous kudos to the 5 offensive linemen up front.
That's 7 straight passing plays for the Argos in the football game. Second down. This will be 8. Bell's under pressure. Now he'll have to run. Loses the football. And it looks like Orlando Steinauer got it back. Had it for a moment, slipped
He
through
had
his
it,
hands,
lost it.
and it's Argo football. A gigantic break for Toronto. Orlando Steinauer appeared to have possession for a moment, but the indication from the officials is that it is Toronto football.
Yeah, it looked like Steinauer had it and then lost it, and the Toronto Argonauts dodge a huge bullet as they recover. They will be short of the first down, however.
But they'll have a chance for points.
Boy, what an adventure when Kerwin Bell has run the last few weeks. I mean, he does the right thing. There's nobody there, and he steps up. And, you know, we'll see right here who makes the play. Coming from behind, Gonzalo Floyd tips the ball loose. There it is. I'm not sure he tipped it or Bell just didn't lose it. Now the fun starts.
Eric Bigos now from the 25-yard line. Paul Mazzotti is the holder. Bigos puts it up and good. So the break for the Argos leads directly to 3 points. 12:29 to play in the first half. The Argos lead the Ticats 13-0 on the CFL Live.
Play Safeway's $1 Million Touchdown to Win for your chance to win $1 million. If your name appears, it means you have won the Minolta Dimage digital still camera with built-in flash, 1.8-inch color LCD monitor, and 64-image storage. A great way to break into the world of digital photography. Dimage from Minolta. It's great fun. Or a set of Revere Pro Line cookware from Corning. Designed for durability and a lifetime of use. Retains moisture, flavor, and nutrients while cooking. Corningware, a balance of practicality and performance. Enter your ballot at your local Safeway Food and Drug today.
Starting your engine is a terrible thing to do. But when you do start your car, there isn't an engine treatment in the world that can give it the kind of protection Slick 50 can. Because nothing else has Slick 50's unique chemistry. That's why Slick 50 engine treatment protects so well at startup and keeps on protecting even when you change your oil. You can reduce your engine wear up to 50%. What it takes is Slick 50.
There are times when it becomes a battle of will. When gaining ground means losing blood. When exhilaration meets exhaustion. When the vision of your goal is blurred only by the tears in your eyes. And either you have it in you, or you don't. Gatorade. Is it in you?
Big crowd here tonight. The Argos best of the season, and there's the number to call if you'd like to attend the game in the Toronto area. And we thank the Argos for lifting the blackout tonight so the entire country can see the Argos and the Ticats.
And they have a good crowd on hand. You know,
And
Gord,
they have a 13-0 lead.
Yes, and I think it's a critical series for Danny McManus. Toronto, 2 great drives in a row to score 10 of their 13 points, and I think Hamilton has to answer.
So far, nothing. Archie Amerson on the carry, and he is brought down immediately on the play by Eric Johnson, number 27, who comes in for Toronto.
Yeah, and Jermaine Haley really got, I mean, he is shot like a cannon up through here. He makes the first contact. He just sheds the block right away, and he's there on Amerson early. Eric Johnson cleans up, but anytime your front four gets penetration like that on a running play, 9 times out of 10, you've got no chance for success.
Argos going with a 3-man front now as Johnson remains in there on 2nd and long. McManus, player high, picked off by Lester Smith. Right at midfield, Danny McManus just aired that one out. The Argos get the ball right back, close to midfield.
And Danny McManus has been throwing high all evening. It hasn't hurt him up until now. He had a receiver open. You see clearly there, he's trying to get it over the linebackers and into Mike Morreale, but he just simply overthrows in one of the easier interceptions Lester Smith will have in his career. Look at Morreale's open. That's a tough throw to complete. The layers that the Argo defense have right now are perfectly positioned between linebackers and secondary. That makes for very, very difficult throws to complete.
7th interception of the season thrown by Danny McManus. The Argos with the ball at their own 54. Miscommunication as Bell can't find Clemens. Now Mike Clemens gets maybe 3. Kerwin Bell looked around and there was nobody home. He saw cheerleaders.
He waited. He waited. He waited. And it's nice when you have a 13-point lead because you can kind of laugh about those plays. But watch how long Mike Clemens, he's waiting. Like, give it to me. Give it to me.
That has to be the loneliest feeling in the world, to turn around and the guy you're supposed to hand it to isn't there.
And what's more unusual is they picked up positive yardage.
That's twice that's happened. Once on the punt return when 2 Argos collided, now on that play. Across midfield we go again. Bell, lots of time. And it's intercepted the other way. Picked off by Gerald Vaughn. He gets it right back for Hamilton and now moves up the sidelines all the way down to the 40-yard line. Gerald Vaughn with his 3rd interception of the year. And the Ticats add to their league-leading total. They now have 21 as a team.
So the Ticats answer quickly with great defense, as you might expect. And only rushed 3 men that time, sat back in his zone coverage, which they don't do a lot. We talked about that, but great anticipation when the ball was in the air by Gerald Vaughn, and he leaves his area, comes across and makes the key interception, his 3rd of the year.
9 different Ticats have interceptions this year. The Calgary Stampeders are 2nd interceptions. They only have 10 total.
I mean, that is a phenomenal statistic to have 9 players with a pick already in week 8.
From the 44, McManus wants it right now. Darren Flutie, who has yet to catch a pass in the game, has it knocked away. It falls incomplete as the coverage is provided by Byron Capers.
And Danny McManus is not sharp tonight. He's thrown the ball poorly here in the first half, and that was a touchdown pass that should have been, but badly underthrown, and Capers able to get a handoff, but Darren Flutie had him beaten by 3 steps. Had McManus put some airtime on it, that was 6.
First time we've mentioned Darren Flutie's name tonight.
That's right. Well, and there's the reason why. He's only completed 3 balls.
Big 2nd down now for the Ticats. 9:45 to play in the first half. McManus under pressure. Just gets it away. Flutie's got the catch and a 1st down to the 27-yard line, and Flutie makes a big catch, and his first comes at an opportune time for Hamilton.
And you know what? That's tough to complete into a 9-man zone. Hamilton, or Toronto rather, only rushed 3 people. And Darren Flutie does a heck of a job to find the open zone. There's 82 right in the middle of your screen, and he just sits in there. Now he's working to an open spot. Makes himself a good target. McManus finds it.
Now McManus going over the top. Incomplete. Same play we saw a moment ago, and the same individuals involved. It was Darren Flutie working on Byron Capers, the first-year man out of Florida State.
They're getting close. I mean, the play calling is the right plays. Hamilton is very, very close. They're just not executing right now. They're doing the right things mentally and physically. They're just not getting the execution.
Talking to Danny McManus on a flight the other day coming back from Edmonton, saying that He's getting better with age, and he laughed, yeah, by the time I'm 50, I'll be unstoppable. Second down now, McManus in the shotgun. Lots of time for McManus. He's got a man open in the end zone. Andrew Gregg, incomplete. Andrew Gregg was all by himself in the end zone, and McManus can't believe they missed.
But again, McManus underthrew the receiver, and you'll see Andrew Gregg at the top. He finally just works his way downfield and is able to get open, but the ball again is underthrown, and as the defense comes back to Gregg, there you see he's supposed to be picked up deep by Capers. Capers just lets him go by, but enough of a distraction as the ball is underthrown that he doesn't make the catch. He should have caught it.
Osbaldiston now to try a field goal from the 34-yard line. Puts it up, and it is good. Paul Osbaldiston, the league's leading scorer, on pace to have his best season, has Hamilton's first points. 8:19 to go in the first half. The Ticats trail the Argos by 10.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to TSN Tonight. I'm Darren Detition. The Ticats can ill afford to squander those chances. The Roger Maris chase heated up yesterday when Mark McGuire went deep twice. Tonight he's in the Big Apple. Game one of a double dip against the Mets. Big Mac's already hit 2 homers against New York this season. In the first, he's frozen by Willie Blair. Then in the top of the 7th, McGuire takes Blair deep to left. Hundley watches it go. Gone for number 50. He's the first to hit 50 homers 3 years in a row. By the way, game number 2 is also underway. As for Sammy Sosa, he remains at 48 homers today. He really struggled at the office. He was 0 for 5. He had 3 Ks in the game as the Cubs did beat up the Giants, nonetheless, by a count of 7-3. Ken Griffey Jr. looks to find his home run stroke this evening against the Blue Jays. That's a game that you can see live right here on TSN. All the action starts at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Let's get you back to football.
Those other political parties waste their time trying to expose our foreign policy. Right then, here it is. The Molson Canadian Rocks Party is exporting a few hundred ambassadors to London to open the Molson Canadian Embassy. Okay? The Molson Canadian Rocks Embassy Soiree with Page and Plant. Join the party. Must be legal drinking age, no purchase necessary.
Tomorrow night, Adidas Friday Night Football has the Winnipeg Blue Bombers taking on the Edmonton Eskimos. The Eskimos licking their wounds after the back-to-back losses to the Ticats.
They couldn't ask for a better opponent. I mean, if you've lost 2 in a row, who would you want to play?
Yes, the 0-7 Bombers.
And it's not going to get easier. You know, people say to me, how can they play better? What can they do? The longer you go with that goose egg, the tougher it gets.
You ever have anything like that, 0-7?
No.
Not that you'll admit.
I can't even know. I don't remember if we did.
Steve Smith takes the kickoff from Paul Osbaldiston at the 22-yard line. Smith looking for a seam is tripped up as he gets to the 45-yard line. Dan Tronick got a piece of him as Kerwin Bell and the Toronto offense take the field. A lot of people in Toronto were skeptical when Bell was signed in the offseason by the Argos. They felt that he was second best. In fact, the Argos were hoping to get Danny McManus. You were one of those skeptics.
I was a skeptic to some degree, but I'll tell you what, I watched him in a preseason game when he suffered the broken arm, and it was against the Montreal Alouettes. He played superbly, and, I said, hey, he's going to help this team, and he's come back and has been terrific. He hasn't had the point production, but he sure has moved this football club.
On first down, Bell has all day throwing over the middle. He's got Nigel Williams wide open. Williams inside the 30, runs into Rob Hitchcock down to the 24-yard line. Another big gain for Nigel Williams. This time he picks up 43 yards.
And he has such a great stride. I mean, he simply ran away from Gerald Vaughn. You're going to see him come into the middle of your screen. Look, those last few strides, he accelerated away from Vaughn. A perfect throw by Kerwin Bell, but the protection again, absolutely superb. Look at this. Time to wait, step up, throw off your front foot, and when a quarterback of Bell's caliber gets that kind of time to throw, you're going to have success. The last 3 series, they've moved the football, and much to the delight of John Jenkins, their offensive coordinator, they are picking apart a great Hamilton defense.
Nigel Williams has 2 catches in the game for 94 yards. First down, Bell. Under pressure, he is dropped by Joe Monfort. The ball comes loose. but I believe they will rule Kerwin Bell down on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and long for the Argos, and Bell's mobility is a big factor in all those sacks the Argos allow.
Here's Montfort up top, and there's his old buddy, a teammate from a year ago, Dwayne Morgan, and already it's clear in this first half that Montfort's speed is far too much for Morgan. Second time he's blown around Morgan quite easily. This time he gets the sack. Last time he got a great pressure, and only some tremendous athletic ability by Bell got away, but the sack by Montfort, another big defensive play, and they need more of those.
Flags are down, and in fact the play was not begun in time. Jake Ireland with the call, and procedure goes against the Argonauts. 13-3, Toronto leads. Remember last year, the Labor Day Classic?
Procedure. Toronto number 56, still 2nd down.
Hamilton scored the first 3 points of that football game. The Argos got the next 46.
It wasn't pretty.
It was nasty.
You're a Hamilton fan.
And many of the Ticats and their fans talking about that this week, that if their team was able to get Toronto down, not to let up. Right now, they're the ones who are down. 2nd and a bundle. Bell dumps it off for Mazzotti, who gets back close to the original line of scrimmage. Calvin Tiggle makes the stop. Mazzotti with the grab, but it'll be 3rd and 12 for the Argos as the field goal unit comes on the field.
But again, Gord, the big play to Nigel Williams, and once again Toronto has put themselves in a position to score some points based off the offensive yardage that they're accumulating. And obviously, as we get another look, in behind John Jenkins is Darrell K. Smith, one of the all-time great receivers with the Argonauts, and has been a great help to Darrell Mitchell, among others, and Nigel Williams. He was a great slot back, and sure got a lot of tricks he can teach these guys.
Eric Vigos now from the 32-yard line is perfect as an Argo so far. Flags all over the place. The field goal was good, but the whistle had gone before the kick was made.
Procedure. Toronto, still 3rd down.
So Vigos gets to try it over again from 5 yards back.
Well, we talked in the opening about, mental mistakes were really preventing Toronto from scoring some points in the last few games. There's another one, and hope it doesn't haunt them.
Last time I saw a football helmet like that, I was eating ice cream out of it.
That is a bad face mask.
Now from the 37. Mazzotti the holder. Vigos puts it up, and it is still good. He's perfect in his CFL career so far, but wait, there's another flag down, holding again. Now that's a 10-yard penalty. Now Matthews might have to think about punting.
Holding. Toronto number 68, still 3rd down.
This started off as a 32-yard attempt, and now it's going to be a 47-yard try.
Well, 68 is Steven Salter, and Joe Montfort with a real good effort up the middle, and Salter had to hold him or he might have blocked it.
They're going to wear the kid out. From 47. Still good.
They can't phase him.
He's just kicked for 100 yards. Take it back some more, he says. Argos lead by 13.
Play Safeway's $1 million touchdown to win, and you could win $1 million or a 27-inch Zenith color television. A business navigator, personal organizer from Casio, the Minolta Dimage Pick digital camera, Corning's Revere Pro Line cookware, or win a vacation trip or two to the Villas Vallarta Hotel via Air Transat, courtesy of World of Vacations, Canada's #1 tour operator to the sun. Look for Campbell Soups, Sunripe Juice. Now there's a million more reasons to shop at Safeway, today's better way.
It was a radical plan to create a quiet muffler that could also help make your engine more efficient. Introducing the new Walker Quiet Flow muffler with exclusive sound-absorbing fiber and a free-flow design. Quiet Flow offers a combination of quiet and efficiency no other muffler can match. The new Quiet Flow muffler, only from Walker. Run quiet, run better. For the Walker Quiet Flow dealer nearest you, call 1-888-RUN-SILENT.
Well, I'm all for modernization of the game and all. Playing ball on artificial turf is like playing on a giant toupee. This is the real thing. Major League certified Stop! That ain't right.
Jays, Mariners, TSN tonight.
It's Gallagher. It's live in your face television. You're going to love it, folks. Come on, give me the ball. Run with the ball. Don't drop the ball. Heisman. Ooh!
Eric Begos has 2 wiped out by penalty, but finally puts the field goal through with more from the sidelines, David Amber.
Eric Begos, yeah, an incredible pickup. Gord Leaf, 5 for 5. They picked him up 2 weeks ago out of Waterloo. The rookies impressed. Noel Prefontaine struggled. They thought he was going to do both the place kicking and the punting, but right now, clearly, Begos is their go-to guy for the field goals.
Well, look at that. And you throw in the 2 more he made on penalties. 7 for 7.
He's unflappable.
He is. He's just got a bad face mask.
Well, we can work on that. And you know what? He can wear a clown mask right now. If he keeps making them, Don Matthews will keep putting them out.
Well, I mean, he made the one from 47, and he had lots of room to spare as well.
Ticats now down 13, started their 35-yard line, and another pass from McManus sails over the target.
Well, he's really had struggled tonight with overthrowing receivers. Danny McManus has cost him an interception that Lester Smith picked off, and again right now overthrowing Darren Flutie right here. I mean, this wasn't even close, and I don't know what it is. Danny McManus has been a pretty consistent quarterback throughout his career, but he's overthrown the short ones and underthrown the long ones. He's 4 of 13, and that won't get it done against a defense like Toronto.
Under 5 minutes to go now in the first half. McManus, look out! Gets it away, incomplete for Darren Flutie, who is again well covered. Another 2 and out for the Ticats, who will be forced to punt.
Yeah, and Toronto's really mixing up their defenses. They're mixing up when they only bring 3 people. They get Hamilton in second and long here. They give them a different look with Kelly Wilshire coming on the blitz from the outside. Here's Wilshire. There's nobody to pick him up. McManus can feel him coming, and again, he has to deliver it under pressure, but the recognition that Danny McManus is always so good at, I think he's struggling with tonight because Toronto's just giving him a lot of different looks.
6 2 and out so far for the Ticats in this first half as Osbaldiston goes back to punt again. It's a good kick away. Steve Smith chased back to his 31-yard line. Smith again with a good run. Here he goes up the sideline. He's got the kicker to beat, and Osbaldiston sticks him at the 40. But it's another big return for the Toronto rookie. Steve Smith with a run back of 40 yards on the 41-yard punt.
Well, Gord, you mentioned earlier Toronto leading the league in punt return yardage, and this is why they work so hard to get the good block at the initial point of attack right there. And then Steve Smith, who's been inserted into the lineup tonight just for this reason, to return punts, take a little bit of the load off from Pinball Clements, and that is a great return. Lester Smith had a good return earlier, and you know, for all intents and purposes, the Toronto offense has been playing on a pretty short field tonight.
Excellent field position here at the Hamilton 40-yard line. Bell shovels it off at a very dangerous play as he throws it underneath for Darryl Mitchell. Kind of the reverse option there, and not much doing.
Yeah, and this is a great play by Joe Montford. What you try to do is isolate him as the quarterback. Here's Montford. Watch him come across. Usually what you try and do is either if he commits to the quarterback, you pitch it. If he commits to the pitch man, you run it. Well, he stays right in the middle. Bell has no choice, really doesn't know what to do with it. By the time he pitches it, Montford's there to make a play, and not only is he the premier rush in the league right now, he can play the run as well.
Argonauts a gain of 4. Bell from the shotgun. Guns it for Mazzotti. Paul Mazzotti with a first down and then some down to the 22-yard line. Orlando Steinauer makes the stop, and getting Paul Mazzotti involved has been a big problem for the Argos this year.
Well, the very underused and somewhat underrated Paul Mazzotti this year. Only 20 catches coming to this game, much lower than his normal total, but he does a nice job to get away from Steinauer here and keep this Argo drive. And ever since their 4th possession of this game, they just haven't looked back. But you know, it's interesting with Mazzotti. He had a real mid-season drought last year, and you know, still came back to get 1,000 yards. He's having a beginning drought, but I don't think there's I think there's still a great possibility that he can finish the year strong and get his 1,000.
All right, we've hit the 3-minute warning at Skydome in Toronto. Lots more to come on the CFL Live.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to TSN Tonight. I'm Darren Detition. No story in all of baseball has captured our imagination quite like Mark McGwire, and as he continues to chase Roger Maris's record of 61 homers set way back in 1961. Big Mac hit 2 homers yesterday. Tonight he's playing a double dip against the New York Mets. In game number 1, McGwire goes yard. Number 50 for him. He's the first player in Major League history to hit 50 homers in 3 consecutive seasons. Game 2 has just begun. First inning of Game 2, McGwire does it again. This time it is number 51 as the Cards now lead it by a count of 1-0. Quite a sensational day for Mark McGwire. As for Sammy Sosa, he remains with 48 homers. He had a bad day at the office. He went 0 for 5 with 3 Ks. Ken Griffey Jr. and the Toronto Blue Jays will go head-to-head tonight. That game here on TSN at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Let's get you back to Skydome in the CFL.
All right, Darren, the Mark McGwire watch continues. 2 home runs at Shea Stadium today.
You know, you really know your sports. I mean, is there a tougher record to break than maybe Maris's record? I mean, in all sports.
92 goals by Wayne Gretzky is the only one that comes to mind.
Yeah. I mean, it's phenomenal. He's got a shot now.
It's unimaginable. Roger Maris was so hot in August of 1961 that most people felt that anyone who was even close at the beginning of August would have to have an amazing month like we haven't seen in 20 years in the major leagues, and Mark McGwire's doing.
He's got a great chance now. 2 yesterday, 2 today.
Could break the record against the Expos, who close out the season against the Cardinals.
I don't think he cares who he does it against.
That's all they need, huh? Run into Mark McGwire at the end of the season. Here at Skydome, where they play a little baseball every now and then. 3:05 to go in the first half, and the Argos have a first down at the Hamilton 21-yard line. McGwire, check that, Bell gives it off to Mike Clemens. The pinball gets down to the 20-yard line. I've now inserted Mark McGwire into the Argo lineup.
One of the things that Hamilton's done is a couple of times that they fake Jeff Cummins on the rush. He comes back in coverage, and watch how he reads the screen of Mike Clemens. It's a little different look for Bell to see. The defensive tackle actually turns into a linebacker. He fights through the block and stops the screenplay, but that's the second time they've run that defensive scheme where Jeff Cummins fakes like he's going to pass rush, drops into coverage, and this time he had success by making the play. Wow. Is that some statistic?
Almost a 200-yard advantage for Kerwin Bell as the Florida State-Florida matchup is renewed. On second down now, Bell wants more. Flag comes down, and so does Bell. Back to the 35-yard line, and look who got him, Joe Monfort again. Holding will be the call against Toronto. The Argos almost certainly will decline this penalty.
Well, again, here's Monfort, and again, they drop off like this, so it's the same look. Toronto's seen it twice, but Monfort just, again, he's eating up Dwayne Morgan tonight. Morgan had to hold him, still couldn't keep him, and Monfort with his second sack of the first half.
Third sack of the game for Joe Monfort, and it'll bring Eric Vigos in the field goal unit on again.
Well, you saw Dwayne Morgan leaving the field. He was, of course, a Hamilton Tiger Cat, as we said, a year ago, and don't think Monfort didn't get to work on him every day in practice and really know his strengths and weaknesses, and he's found the weakness tonight. It's that Morgan's not as fast as he is.
Vigos from the 42-yard line. Good again. Make it 6 for 6. 19-3, Toronto leads, and Eric Vigos is perfect in the field goal department tonight. 4 for 4 on the night. Well, maybe one day number 5 will be up there with the retired numbers. That's good to the guy. Huh? Second game in the league, put the Hall of Fame yoke around his neck. Well, reminder, there's the number to call if you're looking to go to a game in the Toronto area. And a lot of Hamilton fans called that number this week, and they're not too happy right now. A 16-point Toronto lead. McManus in the shotgun. Has Darren Flutie, who's got a first down up to the 48-yard line. Mike O'Shea makes the stop.
And since Toronto got this 16-point lead, they've become much more conservative on defense. They were playing a lot of aggressive man-to-man, in-your-face style coverage, and now they have 16-point lead, a lot more zone coverage, and Darren Flutie equally adept at getting open in both, and he's found the hole a couple of times now in the second quarter, and only the second first down for the Ticats. Can you believe it?
And a perplexed-looking Ron Lancaster views the proceedings. McManus now over the top. He goes for Flutie, all tied up, and it. Picked off by Donald Smith. And Smith now moving close to midfield, gets up there before Mike Morreale makes the stop. Danny McManus throws into tight coverage and pays the price again. Donald Smith with his first interception of the year, Lee.
And Gord, you saw only 2 first downs for Hamilton. They've been running the right plays. There have been people open. Danny McManus has had just a tough night. If that ball had been delivered a little sooner, Darren Flutie may have had a chance to make the play, but it hung up there forever. Donald Smith makes a great play to leave his man, come over the top and get the interception, as Gord mentioned, his first. But the difference in this game tonight is Kerwin Bell is having a great first half, and unfortunately, Danny McManus is having a miserable first half.
Talked about it up the top of the show, the difference between 2-16 and 6-1. Danny McManus being hot. Well, Joe Montfort unloads on Kerwin Bell, and it almost leads to an interception by Derek Greer, but another hard shot taken by Kerwin Bell, who's been wearing Joe Montfort tonight.
Well, now, I know Joe Montfort is fast, and again, here's Montfort, but watch Dwayne Morgan right here. I mean, he doesn't move. The ball is snapped. Watch, let it go. I mean, there's Dwayne. He says, what happened? He's still sitting there waiting, and unfortunately for Kerwin Bell, he pays the price.
Kerwin Bell says, I'm 33 years old, man. I don't need hungry 28-year-olds hunting my head.
Dwayne is having a tough first half.
Yeah, Highway 62 tonight. They shovel it off to Daryl Mitchell, who doesn't get much. Football players call it taking your ticket. When a guy goes by you like a patron going to a movie, take your ticket, sir, and that's what's been happening to Dwayne Morgan tonight.
We call it the Olay block.
Yeah.
You know, they
ever throw one of those?
Shot through a no, because I didn't throw a block.
Didn't block anybody.
I didn't even try to do an Olay.
You know, you wonder, they always talk about working on guys in practice. Do you think that Joe Montfort knows that much about Dwayne Morgan?
He knows, I'll guarantee you, he knows that he can beat Dwayne Morgan. He just knows from practicing against him. I know what I can do against this guy. I can beat him with my quickness, as he has a lot of tackles throughout the league. But unfortunately for Dwayne Morgan tonight, he is just getting picked on royally.
Minute and a half to go now in the opening half, and Noel Prefontaine bobbles the snap. And now gets a very good kick away. A booming punt on the run. Wow, you talk about the Argo bounce. Noel Prefontaine unloads a massive punt 70 yards after he bobbled the snap. Amazing. Look at that. He should punt like this all the time.
Well, I mean, we've seen some very athletic plays tonight, and boy, Prefontaine makes that look pretty easy, doesn't he? Nothing to it.
Punting from the rollout, something you don't see every day. And the rookie out of San Diego State uncorks a 70-yard single to make it 20-3 Toronto.
Well, Mike Vanderjack, when he kicked for Toronto, always told me that kickers are athletes. And once again, the kicker proves it.
Ronald Williams takes the handoff, loses the football, and is fortunate to get it back. And what a huge blow that could have been to the Ticats with 1:12 to go in the first half. They'll just try to escape with their lives from the opening 2 quarters.
Very fortunate the ball just bounces straight up. Good hit up front by the Argonauts. And Ronnie Williams, who really has not touched the football at all in this first half, he's their big running back. He's the one that carries the load most of the time.
McManus from the shotgun. Facing just a 3-man rush, fires high again. Darren Flutie makes the catch and has a first down up to the 47-yard line.
Well, they've got time, 56 seconds to go, and Danny McManus terrific at the hurry-up offense, and that's exactly what he's going to do to try and save a few precious seconds. There was the best I ever played with Ron Lancaster at the 2-minute drill. But Danny McManus has a chance to try and salvage something here late in the second quarter.
McManus going to the other side to Mike Morreale. Great catch by Mike Morreale down to the 44-yard line. The Hamilton native Mike Morreale, who's already got a career high for receiving yards after 7 weeks.
Well, this is his 28th catch of the year. He's really blossomed finally, and you know you're going to take the hit. You know you've got to stay in bounds, and you have to be impressed with the concentration he was able to perform with there to make that catch and keep this drive going.
One of 5 Hamilton natives who plays for the Ticats. McManus from the shotgun. Again to the sideline. This time to Bobby Olive, who will quickly step out of bounds in a very Lancaster-esque drive.
You know, Gord, regardless of whether they get a touchdown or 3 points out of this, they have moved the football. They put some first downs together, so they're going to be able to go in at halftime and say, hey, listen, you know, we're only down by 17 if that's the case or less, but we finally started moving the football, and this is a very, very important series for this Ticat offense because up until now they've been horrible.
43 seconds to go. The give goes to Ronald Williams. Williams fighting his way down to the 30-yard line as a first down for Hamilton.
Yeah, now the trick for Danny McManus, as he will do, is get everybody up, get everybody ready, and let's not lose any time off the clock. In fact, I'm surprised they huddled up there because now the clock was at 39. It's moving down 33-32. They've lost about 10 precious seconds.
Here comes the blitz. McManus steps in, looking for Morreale. It's behind him and almost intercepted. Donald Smith almost had his second of the game as Mike Morreale and Danny McManus miscommunicated.
Well, sometimes as a young receiver, you just don't have the experience to know. Danny McManus sees it. He's cleared the zone right now. Boom, that ball's got to be delivered. Morreale didn't read the same thing as McManus does, and, you know, they're very lucky that wasn't picked off.
Brings up second down now for the Ticats at the 31-yard line. 24 seconds to go in this opening half.
Yeah, this is a huge play for Hamilton. I mean, they really would like to go in and make it 20-10 and not just have to settle for field goal.
McManus under pressure. Throws it up top and way over the head of Bobby Olive. That ball wound up in the seats at Skydome. And Paulus Bollison will have to come on to try a field goal. So Lancaster sees ball movement, but now he sees the field goal unit on the field. And he does not look happy.
Well, again, he wanted the touchdown. I mean, 20-10 is a lot better than 20-6. And Paulus Bollison, what a terrific season he has. Look at that. That's, you know, almost over 85%.
This try from the 37.5-yard line. Osbaldiston puts it up and good. He's done his bit, but it's the only scoring the Ticats have in the game with 14 seconds to go in the first half. Toronto with a 14-point lead on Hamilton.
Well, you know, Gord, as well as Hamilton's played the last couple of weeks offensively in their back-to-back wins against Edmonton, I mean, this isn't all bad, 20-6. I mean, you've had a absolutely horrific first half. Nothing has gone right. Toronto shot the lights out offensively themselves, so Danny McManus has played long enough. He's a complacent enough quarterback that he's not going to be rattled by this.
You make the interesting point. If there's one quarterback in the league who would not be rattled by a poor performance in the first half, it's him.
Well, without question, and he's got a coach that was the same way when he played. Ronnie Lancaster could have thrown 5 interceptions in the first half, and his attitude would have been, hey, I'm going to come out and throw 5 touchdowns in the second half, and that's no different than Danny McManus's attitude.
Argos will just simply kill the clock here in this opening half. Worth pointing out that we've talked about it before. Danny McManus has thrown 2 interceptions in the first half of this game. His coach, Ron Lancaster, threw 394 in his career.
He said, I got it to throw touchdowns. I'm going to have a few interceptions. I'm not going to let that worry me. And
now he can go back to the locker room at halftime and see about ending his team's losing streak against the Argos, which is 6 straight games. At the half, the Argos with a 20-6 lead on Hamilton as the rivalry has been intense and then some, with a second half still to come.
You're watching CFL Live. We're at the half. Here's your host, James Duthie.
All right, welcome back. Well, the most dominant team in the CFL so far this season has been dominated in the first half. 20-6 is the score. I tell you what, just 4 words on Eric Bigos. Bad mask, great leg. And this guy was cut by the Alouettes in favor of Terry Baker in training camp. What a great find, Eric Tillman, for the Argos.
Well, James, Don Matthews admits being wrong about as often as we see Haley's comment, but credit him for doing so in this situation. He listened to his scouting director, Nick Volpe, who recommended Bigos, and the kid from Waterloo's just doing a terrific job, Chris.
He's doing a terrific job, and the Argonauts are doing a terrific job of using the deep pattern effectively. Defensive halfbacks, safeties, and inside safeties are very psychologically conditioned to never get beat deep. They hear it at Pee-wee football, high school football, and college football. When you complete 1 or 2, they tend to turn their hips, and that opens up those crossing routes and those inside seams. I really think John Jenkins has to stay aggressive in his play calling, keep testing the deep routes to open up the intermediate routes. Great first half by the Argonauts.
All right, and of course, Chris Schultz has played in a lot of these Argos Ticats game, and another guy on our crew has as well. He's been involved in a lot of them. Unfortunately, tonight is his last. When we come back, we will salute Leif Pettersson.
The quarterback is still inbounds and going for more yards. He is fair game. Boy, that, you know, I mean, this isn't a pillow fight out there.
Come on, Leif.
We, the children, need the following. We need encouragement. We need to laugh. We need inspiration. We need to be read to. We need to have self-esteem. Love and security, adventure, discipline and freedom. We need to make mistakes, ask questions, to imagine. We need to win, and sometimes we need to lose.
All right, welcome back. Well, usually when a player retires in mid-season, it means he doesn't have it anymore. Well, that's not always the case in broadcasting. Leif Pettersson has still got it. He's just taken it to another profession. This is Leif's last game for us tonight. Feel a little strange?
Well, James, it really does feel a little strange after 17 years of broadcasting CFL football games. Unfortunately, some business commitments just have me traveling far too much now, and with some strong family commitments with a couple of young daughters, it's time for me to stop doing it. But what a wonderful transition for me to be able to have played for 8 years, move right into broadcasting with CTV back in 1982. And I guess the thing that I like after all these years of hearing players say, gosh, the transition to normal life was really difficult. For me, it was very, very easy because I've had 25 straight years of game day, so it's been a lot of fun.
All right, now we're going to talk to you more in a minute, but first we gathered some of your friends for a few parting words, so have a listen to this, Leif.
I want to go back to the first game of professional football that he ever did. Mike Wadsworth, Bill Stevenson, and myself covered the game in Regina. We had met his parents earlier in the day, and this was Leif's very first pro football game. And you saw him perform, and you said, geez, this guy looks like he's been in the league forever. Then he comes to television, and his very first game he does with Bill Stevenson and myself, and you say to yourself, this guy's been in the business forever. He has an innate ability to do everything well. He was a very, very good football player, terrific golfer, great tennis player, wonderful skier. Anything this guy undertakes, he does well. I mean, it really bugs you.
As a player, I remember his block in 1974. I remember the Grey Cup in 1976 when he had the car all wrapped up, and I don't think there were enough years in broadcasting to get this in as many times as we did, but at least 6 times a year we were able to remind Leif how Tony Gabriel stole the car in the Grey Cup game in 1976. Leif had a great game, had it all wrapped up until Tony got the game-winning touchdown.
Congratulations on lasting 17 years in a very difficult industry to last that long. By the way, I only beat you by 1 year, so good luck in your retirement, and we'll see you on the golf course.
Leif used the Canadian Football League the way you would like to see all the players use it. They came into the CFL, they really enjoyed it, and you can tell by being part of it for as many years as he has, but at the same time, he was looking down the road at his future, and he's used the football to better himself, and really that's always been the goal of the Canadian Football League, and I'm just always happy to see guys use it that way.
He took to television like a duck to water. It's just amazing how good he was. But he was a great athlete, and he does everything well, and and I say that seriously, and he's a great friend and always has been. And it's too bad he's leaving. It's too bad for the Canadian Football League because he has been a real advocate of the football. He knows the game inside out, and I think he sells the game. And that's what the CFL badly needs, is someone who can really sell it and loves it and knows what he's doing, and Leif does. So that's why CFL is going to miss him as much as TSN is going to miss him.
Well, I tell you what, they could tell Leif Pettersson stories all night, but right now it's your turn to tell some stories, buddy. Your best memories from 17 years of broadcasting.
Well, I have some just tremendous memories. Probably the best one was trying to get Marsden to the Grey Cup game in 1985, just get him to the game on time. But there's too many memories to try and to relate tonight. I think the one thing that I really like as much as anything, that I'm as enthusiastic tonight after 17 years of broadcasting doing this game as I was doing my very first, and I think that's probably what I'm most proud of.
Leif, I think it's interesting when you look at your expansive time with the league. The league, you've seen it at its lowest points. You've seen it at its highest points. Heading into the year 2000, which issues do you feel the league needs to address basically? Because there still are some critical points for stability within the league.
Well, Chris, I think one of the biggest things will always be, I mean, it is a gate revenue-driven league, and anytime it's that, it's going to be a struggle. You have to have fans come out to support the team. So as we enter into the new millennium, that's a tough one for me. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. Can we keep fan interest up enough that people are willing to buy tickets? And that always has been the bread and butter of the league. The television networks, TSN, with its strong commitment over 5 years, the next 5 years is great, but it's still the fans that have to support the league. And if they do that, it has a chance to stay as successful as it always has been.
Leif, as you know, some of the things we treasure the most in this game are really just the relationships. You know, one of these days when you sit around and talk to your grandchildren, tell us about a couple of the characters that you might tell them about.
Well, I mean, you saw the friends of mine that were videotaped to make some comments about me, Pat Morrison and I and Bill Stevenson. I mean, goodness gracious, for a young guy to start off in this league with those fellas, I mean, it was just nonstop fun from the moment we would leave town until we would get back after games. So those guys that begin my broadcasting career was terrific. You look at a Ronnie Lancaster. For a young receiver coming into the league that really was kind of green and wet behind the ears, Ronnie taught me so much. And you know, there's just been so many good people along the way. And, you know, the CFL, I'm certainly not going to be away from it, still going to watch it as much as I can. But to me, the resiliency that this league has always had is so impressive. And as with any great sport and any great league, there's tremendous people behind the scenes that always make it a good product. And the CFL has been no different.
All right, Leif, no question here. A rarity in broadcasting. You can say whatever you like. Your final thoughts.
Well, you know, James, after all these years, there's certainly some people you would like to thank. And I have to look back to 1982 when Johnny Esau gave me a tremendous opportunity to leave football and move right into television, which was, as I said earlier, such an easy transition for me. And along with Johnny Esau became Pat Morrison, Bill Stevenson, and Frank Rigney on our broadcast crew. And a couple of guys behind the scenes that were great characters and fun to be with, Bobby Layden, Alex Mott, and of course George Cootie. And you know, like any good business or any good professional sports organization, if you have strong management, you have a chance to have a great organization. And with TSN, that is no different. And with Gordon Craig at the helm for all 14 years of the network's success, and Jim Thompson, of course, Rick Brace, now the president, Keith Pelly, senior vice president of programming, they have all been wonderful friends of mine, not only employers. I've never considered an employer-employee relationship, but just true friends. So to all the behind-the-scenes people at TSN, I owe a great debt of gratitude, and throughout the fans of the league that have always been so supportive of me, and it has really been fun, and I appreciate the opportunity to thank those particular people.
All right, Leif. Well, us here at the panel, we only got to work with you for a half season, but I can tell you what, on behalf of all of us, it has been a true pleasure, and good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Leif Pedersen, who very good broadcaster, and don't forget before that, a pretty good ball player. Let's have a look as we go to commercial at Leif Pedersen, the receiver. Pretty good hands in his day.
What makes Ford trucks so tough? Maybe it's the choice of 3 powerful Triton engines. What makes Ford tough to beat? How about more choice of pickups than any other truck lineup in North America? And what makes Ford F-Series the #1 selling truck line in Canada for 32 years running? Hard-working Canadians who need tough, versatile trucks for work and for play. Built Ford tough.
It's the way we welcome the sun with 35 sunblock. The way some of the best water now mostly comes in bottles. It's the way we make time for exercise and like to enjoy reading. Today, more and more people are finding reasons to take better care of themselves. That's why Subway offers 7 subs, each under 6 grams of fat. Because when you're through surfing, you might want to go for a swim. Subway, it's the way a sandwich should be.
Walking out of the door, I'm on my way. Can you tell me just where I'm going? Motivational skills, don't have a clue what to do, but my mind's in motion. Come on, and tell me why you're staring. Come on, it must be what I'm wearing. Come on, and
Welcome to Nanaimo, home of the bar, and Vern Goldsberry's Midas.
Vern is an honest guy, and it's got a rep that's very minty.
Hi, I'm Vern Goldsberry, and this is my family.
And Midas does a good job at a fair price, and has a nice current selection of magazines.
Car care, dental care, it's all about trust.
Vern over there at Midas, he saves me quite a bit of money. It's not like I'm a philanthropist.
Right now, Midas is offering our famous front or rear disc brake service package for the incredible price of just $99.95.
Midas Car Care, the way it should be.
Your favorite CFL team now has their logo on your favorite credit card. It's the CFL MasterCard credit card. Support your team and take advantage of the benefits that over 346 million MasterCard cardholders worldwide are enjoying. Each stylized card has your team's logo on it. So support your team 12 months a year and pull out your card. Call 1-8774-CFL now for your CFL MasterCard credit card. When you pay with us, you play with us.
Beautiful night in Toronto on a Thursday night. Toronto leading Hamilton 20-6 after the first half of a key showdown in the Eastern Division as the Hamilton Ticats with a 6-1 mark take on the 3-4 Toronto Argonauts. Paulus Balderson has accounted for all the Hamilton scoring with 2 field goals, and he'll kick it off to open the second half. Balderson hangs the kickoff up high, and this is Steve Smith from the 22-yard line faking the reverse to Mike Clemens and trying to get around the corner. Flags all over the place as there was an illegal block. Smith is still up and running and takes a whack at the 28-yard line, so the Argos reach into the bag of tricks to open the second half, but it looks like it'll come back due to penalty. The numbers through the opening 30 minutes, and it's quite a story. One-sided as you might expect, but not the way you might expect. 229 yards in passing for the Argos and just 98 net yards for the Ticats.
Toronto number 3, first down.
Well, Gord, as we left the air at the end of the second quarter, we talked about Danny McManus. I mean, he had an awful first half. The defense played reasonably well, as you see Joe Montford's 3 sacks. But as we said, McManus has a chance to come back. He won't let him bother him. I mean, he's probably ticked off that he hasn't played very well, but he certainly has the ability to come back from 13-point deficit.
The illegal block against Clifton Abraham moves the Argos back to their 12-yard line. Bell gives it off to Mike Clemens. Pinball bouncing back and forth. Montford had a piece of him for a moment, and now Pinball gets out to the 15-yard line. One of the more entertaining 3-yard runs you'll ever see as Mike Philbrick was finally able to make the stop.
Well, Hamilton is convinced that Toronto cannot run the football at them tonight. Obviously, if they're playing 7 defensive backs and only Calvin Tiggle is the true linebacker in there, and really this play is going nowhere except for a great effort by Mike Clemens to just pick up about 3 yards on the play. But Hamilton is convinced that they're not going to have to worry about the run tonight, and I kind of agree with them. And that is a huge story. 3.8 against 9.0 on first down.
Bell fires it out there, incomplete for Andrew English. A long throw. Ticats all over the football. Frank West thought he should have had the interception.
You know, and you look at the little things that really help your team throughout a game. This could have been a first down to get Toronto out of a deep hole, but for Hamilton, they've come out and, you know, they've done what I'm sure they talked about in the locker room. They said, look, Toronto's going to get the ball. We're putting our greatest asset on the field right now, our defense. Let's get a 2-and-out, get the ball back quickly in good field position, and, you know, let's see what we can do. So Ronnie Lancaster's team has done that to begin this third quarter.
Rookie Noel Prefontaine stands at the goal line to punt. Remember, he mishandled the snap the last time he kicked.
But had a great kick.
Bobby Olive is the lone Ticat back deep to receive. They're going after him. Prefontaine gets it away. A short kick that bounces at the 47-yard line and goes out of bounds, so the Ticats will begin the second half with excellent field position after just a 32-yard punt by Noel Prefontaine.
And you know what he did, Gord? He really took a look to see if the pressure was coming, and I really felt like he slowed down his normal routine, and as so often happens to kickers, when they don't use their normal rhythm, they have a lousy kick, and that's the worst punt that he's obviously had tonight.
Well, here's a chance for the Ticats to climb right back in the game. Down 14 points. They begin this drive at the Argo 47. On first down, play fake. McManus, lots of time. It is batted down. That pass goes nowhere as Jermaine Haley gets a finger on it, and Danny McManus had the kind of first half he would like to forget. 8 of 21 for 83 yards, 2 interceptions. Kerwin Bell, meantime, lights up the Hamilton defense for 229 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, and the 20 points. I mean, they were averaging, what, 21 points a game coming into tonight, so they have almost that in the first half. So, you know, I think Bell and Don Matthews and the entire team should be thrilled with how they played in that first half.
Bell looking on now as Danny McManus goes to work. Second down, McManus steps up, wide open, Darren Flutie, but the pass hit Marcelo Simmons on the shoulder pad. That would have been interception number 3 for the Argos.
Well, one of the things Toronto's doing on second and long is they're only rushing 3 people, and they're putting 9 back in zone coverage and absolutely squeezing down the lanes. There's Marcelo Simmons 9, and you have to wonder where McManus is throwing, and so often happens than not, when there are 9 defensive backs and linebackers back in coverage, you really have to thread the needle, and that was probably one that McManus shouldn't have thrown.
Rather than try a 54-yard field goal, Paulus Baldeson will punt. Trying to hem the Argos in deep. Smith from the 10-yard line dropped the football. Now back up and running. Smith around the corner. And a good return by Steve Smith, who gets up to the 25-yard line. A 15-yard return of a 37-yard punt by Paulus Baldeson. 12:24 to play in the third quarter. You're watching the CFL Live.
Play Safeway's $1 Million Touchdown to Win for your chance to win $1 million. If your name appears, it means you have won Fill-A-Shave with reflex action. It adapts comfortably to the contours of your face. Closer contact for a closer shave. Fill-A-Shave from Philips, our closest shave ever. Or the Business Navigator Personal Organizer from Casio with PC synchronization software and large 1 megabyte anti-loss memory. The BN10 packs so much power it's like having a PC in your pocket. Enter your ballot at your local Safeway Food and Drug today.
Alliance Releasing and Airbud Golden Receiver want to send your family to the '98 Grey Cup in Winnipeg. Send a postcard telling us which game and quarter you saw this on TSN CFL football and watch for more chances to win. Airbud Golden Receiver now playing in theaters everywhere.
Sorry. F1 World Grand Prix on Nintendo 64. You'll get carried away.
When you're a champion, you've got to work night and day to protect your title. Everyone wants to put you to the test, to make you sweat. But if you've got antibacterial odor fighters in your corner and 24-hour wetness protection, the kind you find in new Speed Stick Ultimate Antiperspirant, the best Speed Stick ever, you'll be a star in and out of the ring. New Speed Stick Ultimate, tough 24-hour protection.
5 minutes. Welcome to the rivalry, Ron Lancaster, who got a taste of what it's like this week when Hamilton fans were pointing back to last year. The Argos won all 4 meetings against the Ticats. Remember Adrian Smith after the interception? And Marcelo Simmons as well. A little hot dogging that went on going to the end zone, and Hamilton fans have not forgotten what happened on Labor Day of a year ago. 46-3 was the final score, and this was the one that really hurt. Adrian Smith just parking on the goal line and hot dogging his way in. Kerwin Bell is up and throwing now, looking deep for Daryl Mitchell. Check that, Nigel Williams. He's got the catch, and Nigel Williams is running inside the 20-yard line. Brought down by Rob Hitchcock. All they do is throw deep to Nigel Williams, and all he does is catch it.
Well, you're never quite sure if this was going to be the option play to Daryl Mitchell. Watch the fake right here, and Mitchell's knocked away, and Kerwin Bell goes to plan B, and that's your outlet with Nigel Williams running deep. What a terrific catch he makes right here, going up over the top of Derek Greer. Second long bomb that Williams has hauled in tonight.
65-yard pickup for Nigel Williams. And Williams has 3 catches in the game for 159 yards.
Not all bad.
Gives the Argos a first down just inside the Hamilton 20. Bell under pressure, no flags down as Bell goes to the end zone for Daryl Mitchell, incomplete. Joe Montford was hogtied as he tried to get to the Argo quarterback, but Toronto got away with one there.
Yeah, Dwayne Morgan is having his hands full with Montford tonight, and again, though, the blitz coming from Hamilton, the Toronto offensive line, and Dwayne Demetrician picked it up. They did a nice job with Here's, watch Monfort at the top. Watch the hold here, but watch the pickup of the blitz right here, and this is why Kerwin Bell is having success. Demonstration with a good block right there, and allowing Bell time to throw and pick out his guy. Didn't complete it, but the offensive line and backs are doing a heck of a job.
Second down, Bell from the shotgun. Under pressure again, just slings it towards the end zone for Clemens. Touchdown! But there's a flag. What a grab by Mike Clemens and a great throw by the Toronto quarterback. Now, what's the flag about?
Well, where they threw it, it's usually contacting the receiver, and I think this one's going to stand.
It does.
On an eligible receiver, Hamilton number 4. Decline. Touchdown.
A desperation throw by Kerwin Bell, and a great catch by Mike Clemens for his 3rd touchdown catch of the year.
My daughters will be happy. They're here tonight, and he's their favorite player, and he spent some time with them before the game, and what an effort. Watch this. The concentration comes back, and that is a heck of a touchdown catch. A great throw by Bell to hang in with the pressure coming in. The Toronto Argonauts, who have struggled with point production, have really improved immensely in that category tonight.
Flags come down as the point after goes through. I'm not sure Kerwin Bell could even see Mike Clemens from where he was. I think he just threw up a prayer there.
Well, I think you're right.
Pinball answered it.
No, he just threw it as far as he could, slingshot it to the corner of the end zone, and just hoped that his guy would make the catch. And so often that's what quarterbacks have to do.
Toronto number 54. Repeat the conference.
Procedure is the call against Toronto. Eric Begos is having a much longer night than he'd hoped for. But he hasn't missed yet. So this conversion try will come from 17 yards out. Good practice anyway. And Begos puts it through. So the pinball strikes as he has so many times before against Hamilton. 27-6, the Argos lead.
Welcome to Nanaimo, home of the bar, and Vern Goldsberry's Midas.
Vern is an honest guy, and it's got a breath that's very minty.
Hi, I'm Vern Goldsberry, and this is my family.
And Midas does a good job at a fair price and has a nice current selection of magazines.
Car care, dental care, it's all about trust.
Vern over there at Midas, he saves me quite a bit of money. It's not like I'm a philanthropist.
Right now, Midas is offering our famous front or rear disc brake service package for the incredible price of just $99.95.
Midas car care, the way it should be.
Hey, Mom.
Hi.
Can we order pizza?
Okay. Time for McCain.
McCain Rising Crust Pizza. The pizzeria pizza from McCain with a rising crust that bakes up fresh in your oven to deliver a perfect crust loaded with more toppings than ever.
Great pizza. Where'd you get it?
Oh, just a little place around the corner.
Rising Crust Pizza, delivered by McCain.
What a scoring drive for the Argonauts. Nigel Williams, the 65-yard pass and run, and then Mike Clemens makes the great over-the-shoulder catch for the 20-yard touchdown.
You know, Gord, sometimes a quarterback can make his offensive lineman look good. Here's Jude St. John, and as Mike Philbrick comes up, watch Kerwin Bell step up into the pocket. Mike Philbrick thinks he has a shot, but here's a quarterback who's helping his offensive lineman look good. Bell steps up into the open spot, picks out Clemens, gets the touchdown pass, but when it looked like the protection had broken down, Bell really did the right thing.
Pinball last year in the Labor Day thumping of Hamilton had 6 catches and 2 touchdowns. Begos kicks it off, and this is Ronald Williams from the 15-yard line. Williams trying to get around the right side, does, and gets up to the 38-yard line before he's stopped on the play by the Argos' Lester Smith. So Hamilton will go back to work, but now back in the deep hole, down 21.
Well, I guess the one thing that Danny McManus has to be thinking about is obviously we need some points, but what he's got to do is try to keep the Toronto offense off the field for a while, because they've been running on all cylinders, and, you know, trailing by 21 at the high level that Toronto's offense is performing at, there is a real sense of urgency now for Danny McManus to answer.
Ticats start at their own 38-yard line with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. McManus trying to find someone open and looking for Mike Moriali. The pass falls incomplete. And what happened to the Ticats, who shredded Edmonton for 2 weeks?
Well, I think Ronnie Lancaster's trying to figure that out. This is what they did a week ago in the second half, and obviously he's hoping that they can have a repeat of that. But this Toronto defense, you know, I go back to and repeat what David Amber reported earlier about his conversation with Mike O'Shea. Hey, Toronto's ticked off. They feel they should be the #1 ranked defense in the league, and they really felt like they wanted to go out tonight and prove that, and they certainly are going a long way to being a great defense.
McManus in the shotgun, trying to set up the screen pass for Ronald Williams, and that is submarine neatly by Michael O'Shea, the ex-Ticat, who got in there so quickly. And he's been hearing a smattering of boos again from the Hamilton fans who are here tonight.
Well, of course, they don't like Mike O'Shea because he became a free agent, and when he left, he did not make it in the NFL, chose to come to Toronto instead of Hamilton, and that would tick anybody off in Steeltown. So he's always going to hear some boos, but I know one thing, he's a heck of a player, and he is, you know, you talk about who's the heart and soul of a defense. Mike O'Shea certainly gives that to Toronto.
Kicked out of the game last week and admitted, I lost my cool, and said it won't happen again. Paulus Baldiston to punt. Low kick, not a good one, as Smith takes the bouncing ball to the 33-yard line. And he's thrown down on the play by Kyle Walters. Just a 34-yard kick by Paulus Baldiston. So Kerwin Bell and the Argos will go back to work, and we remind you that the Argos were good enough to lift the blackout here tonight, which we appreciate, and we remind you that if you're in the Toronto area, here's the number you can call for tickets to a Toronto Argonaut game. Good crowd here tonight. Looks like about 25,000, I'm guessing.
They were hoping for 25. They felt like if they got 25 tonight, that'd be a true step in the right direction. Toronto's been a tough town to sell in the last few years, and it's tough to figure because the product that the Argonauts have put on the field the last few seasons with Doug Flutie certainly has been first rate.
Bell gives it off to Clemens. Big hole for Pinball. And Pinball out across the 40, squirts up to the 43-yard line. A gain of close to 10 yards. Should be good for a Toronto first down.
When Hamilton's going to continue to play 7 defensive backs, at some point in time, you've got to attack them with the run. You can do it with screens, and you can do it with draws. And right here, a huge hole opens up front for Clemens, and without a doubt, the most successful running play they've had tonight. But there's a few ways you can do it. You can attack that kind of a defense with traps. You can attack it with screens, and you can with draws. And to John Jenkins' credit, they have put a few of those plays in for the second half. And you know, you look at teams' adjustments, that is certainly one of the ones that Toronto has made.
One of the unfolding stories here tonight, the Argo-Ticat rivalry. John Jenkins, the Argo offensive coordinator, was fired by then Ticat coach Don Southern. The two of those men, no love lost for each other. Now Southern's the defensive coordinator for Hamilton. Jenkins running the Argo offense.
That was a bad situation with John Jenkins in Hamilton, and a lot of mudslinging occurred over that.
Second and inches as the Pinball came up just short. And Jay Barker comes in to run the short yardage play for Toronto when he gets the first down as he slides up to the 45-yard line. And the John Jenkins, Don Southern thing is interesting because you couldn't find two more different guys. Jenkins eating the ice cream there.
I want one of those.
Is that like the Red Auerbach Victory cigar when he starts eating the ice cream? But
I don't think so.
They're just two different guys, and both had bad feelings when the parting of the ways happened. John Jenkins, you'd have to think, at some point will get a shot to be a head coach in the CFL.
I would think he probably would. You look at likely candidates, and John's had great success offensively wherever he has been with Winnipeg and Hamilton and now Toronto.
Early movement, play action fake. Kerwin Bell going for Daryl Mitchell. Wide open, but it is incomplete. And a free play for the Argos as it looked as though Hamilton had jumped offside. Jenkins deserves a lot of the credit for the Argos being able to overcome the loss of Doug Flutie and still produce offensively.
Hamilton number 77. Repeat first down.
And Southern, meantime, the architect of this Hamilton defense that leads the league in all the key categories.
And of course, I mean, this is his natural coaching position. I mean, everybody wants to be a head coach. I mean, there's no question about that. But if you're not going to be a head coach, you know, do the next best thing. And he is a great defensive coordinator and some tremendous years as a defensive coordinator with the Calgary Stampeders, and of course a former Hall of Famer himself.
Now, Jay Barker is remaining in at quarterback for the Argos. We saw in Calgary a couple of weeks ago that Barker would only run the short yardage play, but the rookie out of Alabama, who had an impressive start to the season for the Argos, will remain in at quarterback for Toronto. Talked to his coach from college at Alabama, and the one thing they talked about at Alabama was the way he had people rally around him. And it really is something else when you think about it. A guy walks into the Canadian Football League in his first year and is able to produce right away.
Well, I think you saw that in the games that he played early in the season, and normal for a young quarterback to throw more interceptions than touchdowns, but as you said, his leadership abilities were certainly there.
Pinball up and over. Justin Ring wraps him up as he gets close to midfield, and another Toronto first down. And now Bell will come back into the game as Jay Barker leaves. So Don Matthews going into the bullpen here in the third quarter.
Well, I don't think there's any question. If you're going to have a quarterback run, I think you'd prefer to have it be Jay Barker than Kerwin Bell.
13 first downs to 5 favor the Argos, another telltale statistic. And it is a first down just across midfield. Back to the ground, pinball. And wrapping him up and holding on for dear life was Calvin Tiggle, Pinball's former teammate here in Toronto. Tiggle, of course, was the Argo Rookie of the Year, and like Mike O'Shea, made the trip down the QEW, except he went a different direction going to Hamilton, and he's the cornerstone of that Ticat defense.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, in Toronto, they felt that he wasn't going to be the middle linebacker of the future. They turned him loose, and he's been nothing short of great with Hamilton the last couple of seasons.
A gain of 2 there will bring up second and long for the Argos. Just over 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. It's been all Toronto so far. Bell shovels it off underneath for Daryl Mitchell. A perfectly designed play, and it gets Toronto a first down. Montford was bearing down on Bell, who unloaded at the last second.
Well, they picked the right play against the right defense. 3-man front for Hamilton, and Mitchell's going to come from here. But all you need to do is get the block here, and look at the lane that Daryl Mitchell's going to have. The perfect call against the right defense. And there you see it. Jude St. John leading the way up on Justin Ring, and that is a well-executed shovel pass to Daryl Mitchell, and again, the right play.
Darrell K. Smith looking on in the background. The Argos' all-time leader in receiving yards, thinking maybe Daryl Mitchell's on the road to catching him someday. Now Bell over the top for Mitchell. He's got the catch out of bounds at the 10. Perfect coverage by Gerald Vaughn, but an even better throw by Kerwin Bell. A gain of 34 yards.
Well, it was the perfect pass. He put lots of air time on this football. He knew Daryl Mitchell had Gerald Vaughn beaten. And watch this. He gets the initial separation. Perfect throw. Good concentration. I mean, that's not bad coverage, but that's just a terrific throw by Kerwin Bell. And, boy, is he on his game tonight. Again, good protection up front has been the story of the entire night for the Argonaut offensive line. And abused early in the year, this group has really rallied to have a solid game tonight.
A first down just outside the 10-yard line now for the Argos. Bell in the shotgun. Going for pinball, working on Gerald Vaughn. He dives. Touchdown as a flag comes down. The pinball leaps to the end zone with a flag down, and the Argos with a chance to blow it open here if the penalty is against Hamilton. Still no indication from Jake Ireland. Face mask Hamilton. Count the touchdown, tack it on, and the Argos are off and rolling against the league's #1 team.
Yeah, and again, as they so often...
Face mask. Hamilton, number 39, will fly 15 yards on the kickoff.
40 right in. So the touchdown stands, and as they so often do against teams throughout the league, the crossing patterns tonight really have been the bread and butter when they've needed a play. The short patterns, watch this, Clemens, and Gerald Vaughn just simply can't stay with him. That's too much field. I'm not sure he was in the end zone, but they gave him the sympathy touchdown there, his second of the night.
Eric Pigos puts the point after up and good, just like old times for the Argos, who lead Hamilton 34-6.
Place
Safeway's $1 million touchdown to win. If your name appears, you won a fabulous trip for two to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. You'll stay at the Villas Vallarta Hotel and fly Air Transat, all courtesy of World of Vacations, Canada's #1 tour operator to the sun. $1 million touchdown to win at Safeway Food and Drug.
That's chicken and shish kebab. Ooh, it's not looking good. He's insulting the barbecue, sending out smoke signals. Mom's about to arrive, and there she is, right on schedule. She looks around. It's a disaster zone. The play is about to be called, and...
Kids, we're going to McDonald's! Yeah! Somebody say McDonald's!
Safeway's $1 million touchdown to win for your chance to win $1 million. Participating products include Ocean Spray Cocktail, McCain Super Fries Tasty Taters or Battered Fries, Pillsbury Pizza Pops. Now there's $1 million more reasons to shop at Safeway, today's better way.
Well, you wouldn't know the Argos have been having trouble driving the ball or putting it in the end zone by tonight. 8 plays, 77 yards. Pinball Clemens caps it off with his second touchdown catch of the game. The Argos lead it by 28 points.
Yeah, I mean, things have just gone perfectly. A great game plan, good execution, and again, not to be overly repetitive, but the offensive line, to me, has been the key to this game.
Eric Vigo's kickoff taken by Ronald Williams at the 5-yard line. Williams trying to break through. Gets to about the 30. Donald Smith helps to bring him down there. Lots of time for the Ticats, but the problem is their #1 ranked defense hasn't been able to stop Toronto.
Yeah, and look at the effort up front by the offensive line, and just a huge lane. There's the face mask for Clemens. I'm not so sure he was in the end zone, but it doesn't matter. They give him the sympathy touchdown anyway. But here's the protection up front. Look at Dwayne Demetrician in the middle, picking up the blitz. Kerwin Bell knows he's probably going to take a bit of a hit, but is able to hang into the pocket and still get the touchdown.
On the 25-yard line, McManus standing in, can't find anyone open, so he delivers it to Archie Amerson. Clifton Abraham just stuck a fork at him and dropped him at the 30-yard line. A pickup of about 5 yards. Clifton Abraham has been impressive in his first year out of the University of Houston.
Well, I sure like the way he plays, and you know, as a rookie, the telltale story to me is, do they make mistakes? You know what? I have not seen him make a mistake in the 3 games that I broadcasted the Argonauts this year, and he's a sure tackler, and as a corner, boy, you sure want to have that when you're out there on that island by yourself.
Second down, McManus standing in. He's got Mike Morreale for a first down up to the 45-yard line. And now with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, McManus feeling the sense of urgency that he's got to get his team back in this football game.
Well, he really does. I mean, I'm not sure if this is, you know, too insurmountable for him to attack, but Mike Morreale does his job. And, you know, I look at Morreale, and the difference in him from a year ago is, a year ago he only averaged about 10 yards a catch. Now he's up to 18.1. Well, he's not that fast. So what that tells me, he's getting a lot of yards after the catch, and what a great contribution you can make to your team when you do that.
Scored a 92-yard touchdown against Edmonton at Commonwealth Stadium. Now McManus back to Amerson. And Amerson again takes a hard shot, this time from Marcelo Simmons as he climbs up to the 51-yard line. Just back to Morreale for a moment. No less an authority than Russ Jackson, the Hamilton radio color commentator, was saying that he thinks Morreale could be the next great Canadian slot back in the CFL, along the lines of a Vince Danielson in Calgary or his predecessor, Dave Sapunjas.
Well, he's kind of like a Rocky DiPietro, same kind of speed. He's big, he's strong, he's well over 200 pounds, he's 6'3", and you know, if I would describe him as anyone, I think it's more like a DiPietro.
McManus pump fake, trying to find someone open, almost intercepted again. Marcelo Simmons has been on the receiving end of several Danny McManus passes, only to have them go through his fingers.
Well, how many times has this happened tonight? Danny McManus just trying to get the through the needle here, and that zone squeezes down so quickly between Maurice Miller and Marcelo Simmons. Really no place to throw, and Marcelo Simmons, he might have had a couple of picks tonight and been able to hang on.
Hamilton gambling now on 3rd and 4 from their own 50-yard line. Early movement, and it looked like the Ticats might have jumped early. Ron Lancaster is livid on the Hamilton sidelines.
Procedure. Hamilton number 57. Still 3rd down.
Ticats will have to punt, and Lancaster is storming up and down the sideline.
That's one of those ones you don't want to come off the field.
No, go to the room.
It's Val St. Germain, the left guard, and that is just a situation where you just would like to stay out there for a little while. I had that happen with Ronnie and I in one game where I ran the wrong pattern and an interception occurred. I didn't want to come off.
I wasn't going to tell that story at your last game. I was going to give you a break on that one.
I love that story.
Steve Smith takes the punt at the 30-yard line. Smith reverses his tracks, now trying to get around the corner. Look out, he does. And he's got a lot of room to run. Out across the 50. Smith still going. Up to midfield. A 35-yard punt and a 26-yard return by the electrifying rookie Steve Smith. So the Argos can even their record on the season to 4-4, and we remind you there's the number to call if you're looking for Toronto Argonaut tickets. So we got to finish the story about Lancaster. You didn't want to come off, and for the only time in his career, we're told, Ronnie threw his helmet, didn't he?
He threw it and then kicked it. Because I missed an audible, and I was down blocking downfield or something, and he threw an interception. Blocking who? Anyway, it was a story that it's a lot funnier now than it was 25 years ago.
Bell goes underneath the coverage to Andrew English. He breaks the tackle, and English gets down into Hamilton territory to the 47-yard line. The ball came loose, but he was down on the play. Kerwin Bell with a smile as big as all outdoors as everything is going Toronto's way.
Well, I mean, he's having a lot of fun. I mean, when you have the great numbers and finally the monkey is off your back with regard to point production to go along with a good offensive night. And I mean, you've got to be happy with the way you play.
2nd and short again. In comes Jay Barker. Mentioning earlier that his college coach, Gene Stallings at the University of Alabama, told me a couple of weeks ago that when Jay Barker came to training camp as a freshman, no one thought he'd make the team, much less become Alabama's all-time leading passer. 2nd down and a couple for the Argos. Pinball is the lone man in the backfield with Jay Barker. Play fake. Barker's under pressure, and he'll run. Barker tap dances down the sidelines and almost got hit from behind, got run into the cart down there. A 1st down to the 36-yard line.
I like this play. I mean, Jay Barker is in there, and this is his opportunity to try and make something happen. That is a great fake. That's reminiscent of a Damon Allen type ball control fake, and he gets to the outside. Had an option to throw if he needed to, but certainly had enough yardage to pick up the 1st down safely.
Gets the job done, makes his way off the field for Kerwin Bell to go to work on 1st down from the Hamilton 36-yard line.
Hey, when things are going your way, everybody gets a chance to get in and have some fun.
100 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Bell from the shotgun. Feeling the pressure, unloads it. Andrew English makes the catch. A flag comes down very late. Holding will be the call against Toronto. Funny, you know, we're seeing the Argos smiling and laughing on the field and strutting a little bit. One thing a lot of people noticed in their pregame practice yesterday, not quite as cocky the Argos were as they have been.
Toronto number 62, repeat 1st down.
In past years, the Argos pregame walkthrough was like a party.
Well, they don't have the same swagger because it's not the same team that won a Grey Cup. So, you know, they have to try, you know, they're going to work up to that swagger this year. And tonight's one of those nights that they're going to really enjoy.
Clock running under 30 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, and what a huge victory this would be for the Argos at home. Close to their season average already. Now Bell fakes it, goes back to Mike Clemens. The pinball is wrapped up quickly. Mike Philbrick got there, and there'll be no gain on the play. 9 seconds to go here in the 3rd. Hey, Leaf, who's this?
Hey!
Now on the left, that's Allie Pedersen.
That's Allie.
On the middle, that's Katie, your older daughter. Those are your 2 daughters. That's their friend
Katie Bell.
Katie Bell.
They all ride together. They are having a ball down there. They are waving to me up here. There you go. My kids, they absolutely love coming down to Sky Dome. Pinball is their favorite player, and he scored a couple of touchdowns, so they'll go home happy tonight.
Well, they're taller than he is. Second down. Bell, all kinds of time. Oh, jeez, off the helmet of Calvin Tiggle as Bell was gunning it down there for Dwayne Dimitrition. That'll bring an end to the third quarter. The Argos put up 2 touchdowns in that frame to take a 34-6 lead. There's a penalty at the end of the play, but we'll have the call for you when we come back for the fourth quarter.
You're watching CFL Live, and we're at the quarter. Here's your host, James Duthie.
Well, Hamilton, now you know how the Eskimos feel. The Argonauts doing to the Ticats what the Ticats did to Edmonton the past 2 weeks. And I tell you what a selection of weapons for Kerwin Bell. You got Clemens, you got Mitchell, and you have Nigel Williams.
Yeah, the big guy, Nigel, has certainly been outstanding, hasn't he? You know, I have tremendous respect for Jim Popp and the job he's done in both Baltimore and Montreal. But as I said several weeks ago, I was absolutely shocked when he traded Nigel Williams within the division for compensation next year. In my opinion, Don Matthews, a teacher, took his pupil Jim Popp to the woodshed on that trade. And it's a deal, Chris, that could come back and haunt Montreal big time before the end of the season.
Well, you know, you can almost see it right now, because what surprises me is the fact that right now the Toronto Argonaut receivers are getting great amounts in terms of separation from the defensive backs of the Hamilton Ticats. And some of the most talented people on that defense are the defensive backs. And this changes perception for Hamilton. There's going to be a reevaluation. They have the BC Lions at home, then they have the rematch Labor Day Classic, and Toronto's going to come in cocky. They have Montreal back-to-back. They'll kind of look at this, and it humbles them a little bit. We'll see how they're able to regroup, James.
And I tell you what, just a few weeks ago, it looked like the Argos had serious quarterbacking and kicking concerns. Now they have the #1 passer in the league in Kerwin Bell. They have a capable backup in Barker, and they have a great 1-2 kicking combination in Noel Prefontaine and Eric Bigos. Now let's take you back to Sky Dome for Leafs last quarter. Go, guys.
An angry Joe Montford stalks the sidelines. The reason from David Amber.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. The leading guy who has 3 sacks today, one of the only players doing anything on defense for Hamilton, is going to be sitting out the rest of the game. Don Sutherland and him just had it out. Joe Montford will be sitting. Gonzalo Floyd's going to end up on the rush end position. Big blow up on the sidelines. This looks like a team self-destructing. Back to you guys.
All right, Don Sutherland isn't old school. He's from the school they tore down to build the old school.
That's right. Joe Montford's a pretty intense guy, and if he doesn't feel like the proper things are happening, he's very, very vocal, and sometimes maybe a little too vocal. And Don Sutherland obviously has taken objection to something that he has done.
Noel Prefontaine is in to punt for Toronto on 3rd down. Hoping to hem the Ticats in deep. A low kick that bounces down around the 20-yard line. Picked up there by Orlando Steinauer, who's tripped up at the 23 by John Raposo. A 5-yard return of a 32-yard punt. The numbers through 3 quarters are as lopsided as this 34-6 football game. 17-6 the count in first downs. 388 net yards for the Argos, just 128 for Hamilton. 2 turnovers by the Ticats. Both have been interceptions.
Look at the discrepancy in time of possession, though. I mean, that is a lot of time in 3 quarters. 12 minutes advantage for Toronto. Just really tells you not only how effective Toronto's been offensively with their production tonight, but how long Hamilton's defense has been on the field, and they've kind of wilted, giving up 34 points.
McManus in the shotgun on 1st down. Out of the backfield for Archie Amerson. Amerson does a nice job of making the first man, Kelly Wiltshire, miss and dive out to the 27-yard line.
And Gord, you really know as we enter the 4th quarter that Toronto on defense is not going to gamble. They're going to continue to do a terrific job in the secondary, squeezing down the lanes. And, you know, they've talked on the sidelines, don't let anybody get in behind you, keep everybody in front of you. And it's going to be difficult for McManus to try and bring his team back here in the 4th quarter.
McManus firing Darren Flutie. Flutie off and running across the 40 to the 43, and a 1st down for Hamilton as McManus and Flutie, the dynamic duo for Hamilton, hook up on a rare occasion tonight.
And you know, to Danny McManus's credit, he's going to have to stay to these underneath type patterns as he just completed to Darren Flutie, and hope that he can have enough success on offense and just not run out of time.
Just 4 catches for Flutie in the football game, but that one nets a 1st down. Now McManus out of the backfield for Ronald Williams. And Williams dives out to the 47-yard line for a gain of 5.
You know, and talking about running out of time, Danny McManus recognizes that, and although 13:22 to go, he has gone to the hurry-up offense to try and salvage and keep as much time for his offense that he can here in the fourth quarter.
And a flag comes down very late in the play, too, in fact.
Objectionable conduct. Hamilton, number 24. Second down.
Ronald Williams, the receiver, is called for objectionable conduct. Dan Tronick will come into the game as Ronald Williams is brought off.
Well, let's see the end of this one. Wilshire with a shot in there, and I don't know.
Nope, threw the ball at him. Got a soft toss the ball at him. So Williams comes out of the game, and it's second down and 15. McManus, all kinds of time, slings it there for Morreale. And now Morreale, trying to fight to that first down marker, is brought down across the 50 at about the 52-yard line. That will leave Hamilton a couple of yards short on third down. Lancaster showed he would gamble earlier, and you'd have to think he will here again.
I don't think there's any question here. If he went on 3rd and 5 in the third quarter, he's going to do it here.
12 and a half minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. McManus for Morreale, who's got the catch and the first down, gets his legs cut out by Donald Smith, and Morreale comes up hot at Donald Smith, 2 ex-teammates here in Toronto. Morreale, of course, the cousin of Toronto receiver Paul Mazzotti.
Some serious bragging rights on the line tonight between these two. I like Mazzotti's chances.
At 34-6, you have to like it. And, of course, these two teams will meet again 2 weeks' time in Hamilton in the Labor Day Classic. They're talking about a potential sellout at Ivor Wynne Stadium.
Would that be something?
First down just across midfield. McManus bobbles the snap. Now under pressure. Fires it down there for Amerson. And gets down to the 49-yard line. A gain of 5 and a lucky 5 for Hamilton, as that play was a jailbreak from the word go.
It really was. But to McManus's credit, you know, he's always so unflappable, and you know, any situation is not too difficult for him to overcome. And again, he does that this one, and it seems like this play is going nowhere, and all of a sudden he's able to find a receiver open.
Ticats in the hurry-up offense. The pass through the hands of the intended target, Andrew Gregg, and incomplete. You know, we talked about the similarities between Danny McManus and Ron Lancaster. One of them that a lot of people talk about is the supreme confidence McManus has in his accuracy, the belief he can throw the ball anywhere. You played with Ron Lancaster. He was like that too.
Well, Ronnie was a little different. He didn't have a rifle for an arm. He threw it early into spots and expected his receivers to be there. I think you've seen an example of McManus and the confidence in his arm tonight, because he really has tried to thread the needle a few times when he probably shouldn't have.
Ticats gambling again on third down. McManus sets up the screen pass for Archie Amerson, and he won't get there. Brought down at the 45-yard line. He'll be a good 2 yards short. Hamilton turns it over on downs as Michael O'Shea makes the stop, and the Toronto offense takes the field as Ron Lancaster's gamble fails. The Argos, looking to even their record at 500, are in the driver's seat against the Ticats.
Play Safeway's $1 Million Touchdown to Win for your chance to win $1 million. If your name appears, it means you have won Dirt Devil MVP Swivel Glide Vacuum with patented rear swivel casters and the Ultra Hand Vac with onboard tools. Dirt Devil, powerful vacuums that are incredibly easy to use. Or a Zenith 27-inch digital-ready stereo television with 530 lines of resolution, universal night vision glow-in-the-dark remote, and SE-Cube front surround sound. Zenith Entertainment, just like they like it. Enter your ballot at your local Safeway Food and Drug today.
Political parties say they have an embassy in London. But have you ever seen it? Me neither. The Molson Canadian Rocks Party has one there, however, and we're bringing a few hundred so-called ambassadors to prove we're not lying. The Molson Canadian Rocks Embassy Soiree with Page and Plum. Join the party. Must be legal drinking age, no purchase necessary.
Argos enjoying their biggest crowd of the season and their biggest lead of the year. Here's the number you can call for tickets in the Toronto area. And once again, our thanks to the Argos for lifting the blackout, not just on this game, but all of TSN's games for the remainder of the year in Toronto.
Yeah, and in doing so tonight, they had a great crowd, and the people locally in Toronto that got to see this game certainly have seen a pretty darn good performance by the Argonauts, and maybe that'll encourage them to come down and see it live. Hamilton, nothing like live.
Hamilton fans will be asking for the next Ticat Argo game to be blacked out. Well, we see the throw underneath to Daryl Mitchell again. The stop is made, and Joe Montford is not on the field. And we saw this exchange a moment ago between the Ticat defensive coordinator and his star rush in.
Well, that was actually the second exchange. They had one, and Montford went, sat down. He said, no, you know what? I'm not finished. I forgot to tell him something.
Remember Don Southern telling me he had a father and son talk with one of his players. I said, how'd it go? He said, father won. No gain for Mitchell. It's second down for the Argos from their own 45-yard line. Bell has all day. Look at him. And finds Paul Mazzotti across midfield and down to the Hamilton 49-yard line. Orlando Steinauer makes the stop. Kerwin Bell could have stopped for a sandwich back there.
Well, we've given a lot of credit to the offensive line for the Argonauts tonight, and I'm sure when they watch the film session tomorrow, it's only a three-man rush, often the toughest rush to block against for some reason, but Bell had all kinds of time, perfect pocket, about 6, 7, 8 seconds to throw and complete that pass to Mazzotti, but the offensive line, along with Dwayne Demetrician, who's picked up the blitz, have had just a superlative evening.
And remember, the heart and soul of that offensive line, Mike Kiselak, left in the offseason. The give goes to Mike Clemens, and he has his legs cut out from under him by Gonzalo Floyd, and pinball appears to be shaken up.
Yeah, that was a hit that he wasn't expecting. That hole opened up so nicely that I'm sure he thought he was into the secondary, and Floyd came from nowhere, and when you're not expecting it, those are the ones that hurt.
Gain of a yard for the pinball, and the Argos have been trying this year to keep Mike Clemens off special teams to save his body the wear and tear and the pounding that it's been taken. Clemens keeps the smile, but he says his nickname has been Mike Slightly Shaken Up Clemens this year. Bell from the shotgun again, a perfect dart, but Daryl Mitchell wasn't looking. Derek Greer was there on the coverage. The pass falls incomplete and will bring up third down.
Well, you know, you talked about Clemens and trying to ease his workload on special teams. You know, coming into this game, he had 75 carries. Last year, he only had 50. So, I mean, his role with this club has changed. Daryl Mitchell's going to be the big play receiver. That's evident that the amount of receptions he has so far in 8 weeks. And Mike Clemens doesn't have the same amount of receptions he had a year ago, but he's having to run the football more. So this team has changed, and you know, it looks like they're going to come through a lot of changes and end up at the 500 mark after 8 weeks, and that's not bad, considering Kerwin Bell didn't begin the season.
And considering, too, that their 4 losses this year have been by a total of 19 points. Prefontaine with a good punt bounces down into the end zone where Bobby Olive will chase after it and give up the single point. That gets the Argos to 35. Prefontaine probably not happy with the kick, but he loves the lead.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to TSN Tonight. I'm Darren Detition. An old-fashioned beating's being handed out at Skydome. We'll get you back to the football game in a moment or two. Now, nobody's beat up the baseball this year quite like Mark McGwire. He is on a record-setting pace. He's trying to eclipse Roger Maris's record of 61 homers set way back in 1961. Big Mac, 2 dingers yesterday. How about today? A double dip against the Mets. He hits number 50 in game number 1. Then in the first inning of game number 2, McGwire goes yard again. That gave the Cards a 1-0 lead. They now lead it by a count of 4-1 in the 4th. One on for Mike Piazza, who crushes one to left over the bullpen. 2-run shot. That cuts the lead to 4-3. But obviously the story is Mark McGwire. He becomes the first player in Major League history to hit 50 home runs in 3 consecutive seasons. We will get you back to the CFL tonight.
Welcome to Nanaimo, home of the bar, and Vern Goldsberry's Midas.
Vern is an honest guy, and it's got a breath that's very minty.
Hi, I'm Vern Goldsberry, and this is my family.
Midas does a good job at a fair price and has a nice current selection of magazines.
Car care, dental care, it's all about trust.
Vern over there at Midas, he saves me quite a bit of money. It's not like I'm a philanthropist.
Right now, Midas is offering our famous front or rear disc brake service package for the incredible price of just $99.95.
Midas Car Care, the way it should be.
The Hamilton offense is on the field, but quarterback Danny McManus isn't. His night is done, 19 for 37, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He gives way to second-year man Mike Cawley. And the thing you'll notice about Mike Cawley is that face mask of his, which is reinforced structurally with some good Hamilton steel, because he suffered a broken jaw last year.
I'm trying to recall. I remember the play because I did the game, but I can't remember who hit him. But somebody absolutely drilled him on a rollout, and as you mentioned, that's the reason why he's got that extra bars on the face mask.
Cawley is 2 for 3 passing this year. Make that 3 for 4 as he swings it out for Archie Amerson. And Amerson is wrapped up by Maurice Miller. Cawley, out of James Madison University, showed a lot of promise last year, and the Ticats believe that with the right development, he'll be their quarterback of the future.
Well, he could very well be. I mean, he's got the physical tools. He's big, he's strong. And again, like any young quarterback, he needs some playing time. And, you know, this last 8 minutes of this ball game is going to be some good time for him to try and learn and perfect his skills.
On second down. And look out, Cawley gets sacked. Brought down by Marcelo Simmons on second down. And so that brings up third down now for the Ticats.
Well, the Toronto defense has given Hamilton so many different looks. Here's Marcelo Simmons. Most of the time he's been dropping off in coverage, but now new quarterback in, hasn't seen a lot of looks this year. They say, heck with that, we're going to come after him. Maybe that with a 35-6 lead, maybe that's a little bit of payback for some of the talk that Hamilton made this week. They were pretty boastful about wanting to come in and kick a little you-know-what here in Toronto and pay back for last year. So a little blitz late in the game.
You-know-what?
A little butt.
Hey, attaboy. Last game, I tricked him into saying butt. Ball is Bollison with the punt, taken by Steve Smith at the 30-yard line. Smith dancing his way ahead. Gets out of bounds at the 37-yard line. A 49-yard punt and a return of 7. 7:05 to play in the fourth quarter. The CFL Live returns to Toronto in a moment.
Centuries ago, the humble potato was praised for its nutrition and worshipped for its delicious taste. Discover the new golden standard that's making modern history. Introducing McCain Home Fries. All the deep fried flavor of your favorite fry. Crispy outside, moist potato flavor inside. Crispy McCain Home Fries. They could change history. Taste it and believe it.
CFL football is one tough game. Touch football is one fun game. Football Canada and Football Ontario invite you to have some fun. Join one of the many adult touch football leagues across Canada. The Canadian Football League, along with Molson Canadians, support their efforts. Call Football Canada or Football Ontario and get in the game.
The greatest show on turf will blow you away this summer. See the lions, ferocious tiger cats, performing horses, and the one and only human pinball. CFL 1998. It's the greatest show on turf, radically Canadian, and radically affordable. For Toronto Argo ticket info, call toll-free 1-888-654-6529.
Back at Skydome with the retiring type. Lee Patterson does his last game tonight. Congratulations.
It sounds funny to hear the word retiring. And but anyway, you know what, Gord? I want to say I thanked a lot of people at halftime, but John Wells and I began 12 years ago when TSN started football. And I know John's probably out in Edmonton watching this game, getting ready for his telecast tomorrow night. But John, a sincere vote of thanks to you for putting up with me for all those years. And Gord, I must say with you, I have really enjoyed our time the last few seasons working together. You're true professional. You're a great broadcaster. There's nothing that you can't do on camera. When somebody says give you an extra 30 seconds, you do it flawlessly. So my congratulations. You just pay me right now.
There you go.
My congratulations to you, and I'm going to miss it. But you and John, thanks very much. And to all the production people at TSN, you've been wonderful, and you've put up with a lot of junk from me over the years. So.
Well, you know what? We owe you a lot, Leaf. I know all the games of golf I lost, all the games of cards I lost.
We like that.
Yeah, so I do owe you a lot. I'll pay you back someday.
Anyway, thanks very much.
The Argos with the ball at their 47-yard line. 6:34 to play here in the fourth quarter. Joe Montford's back into the game for the Ticats. So he sat out for one series for disciplinary reasons. Now he's back after Kerwin Bell. Bell has time, steps up, finds Daryl Mitchell. Great catch down to the 50-yard line. Orlando Steinauer makes the tackle. Daryl Mitchell comes up hobbling, and that's not what the Argos need to see.
You know, you talk about a receiver, and does he have athletic ability? Well, no question, Daryl Mitchell does. That is a great stretch to make the catch. Got soft hands, and on his touchdown reception tonight in the first, I believe, the second quarter of the game, great body control. This guy can do it all. Again, another 100-yard game. Nigel Williams has a 100-yard receiving game. Pinball Clements has caught 2 touchdown passes tonight. So not only is Kerwin Bell spreading it around, but his big gunners, Williams and Daryl Mitchell, again, are getting the job done.
Back to the ground on first down. Mike Clemens slashing off tackle, gets down to the 47. You know what the worst thing about taking a bus to a game, to a visiting stadium? You have to stay to the end. So you can't leave early.
I guess you're right.
I'm a big Raider fan, so I went down to the AFC Championship game the year Oakland played in Buffalo. They were the LA Raiders then. 51-3 Buffalo wins. I had to stay right to the end because the bus doesn't leave till the game's over.
Oh, no, that'd be torture. Look at these people. I mean, there is not one happy face in that group, and you're right. They want to get on that bus.
Gonna leave now?
Yeah.
Second and long now for the Argos. Bell in the shotgun. Lots of time again. Drops it off underneath for Daryl Mitchell. A foot race now as Mitchell goes up the sideline. Frank West saves a touchdown, bringing Mitchell down at the 5. A pickup of 42 yards for the league's #1 receiver.
Again, the crossing patterns for Toronto have been so successful tonight. Here's Mitchell at the top of your screen. He comes all the way across the field. You can't chase a guy that long in man-to-man coverage. The Hamilton secondary can't stay close to him, and it's a foot race. And you know what I do if I'm Kerwin Bell right now? First and goal, I go to Daryl Mitchell.
Get him a score, huh?
Yep, he's had a great night. Get him another score.
You know what you do if you're Kerwin Bell? You go to the sidelines.
Or Jay Barker.
If they bring in Jay Barker on first and goal from the 5.
They're crossing me up on my last game. Matthews did it to me on purpose.
First and goal. Barker gives it off to Pinball, and Orlando Steinauer jumped into the backfield and stopped Mike Clemens for a loss of a couple. There's a flag down in the end zone. So Barker now making his way to the sidelines. And what is the penalty all about?
Too many men. Hamilton. First down.
Oh, my goodness. From bad to worse for the Ticats. The kind of penalties that Ron Lancaster absolutely despises. Too many men is the call. Make it first down over again. Half the distance to the goal line.
You know, you have to look at these games, Gord. 6-1. They were on a huge roll. Everybody's saying how great they were. And, you know, nobody likes to lose. Lancaster will be the first to admit it. He hates to lose. But you know what? This isn't all that bad. They can regroup. They can be a little humbled. It may make them work a little harder. Deep down, maybe they didn't come into this game with the greatest effort tonight that they could have put forward. Danny McManus was very flat in the first half. But you know what? Deep down, sometimes these losses aren't all that bad. You'd never want to admit it, but through the course of a season, you know, you're going to have them, and maybe this will bring them back to reality and make them work that much harder.
Yeah, get ready for this. Offside, Hamilton again.
Doesn't matter now, it's over.
Well, Lancaster, for the first time this year, will get to blister his football team.
Well, as I said, it may not be a bad thing.
Next week, they take on the BC Lions at home, and that's followed by the Labor Day clash.
Hey, look on the bright side. It makes the East that much tighter.
Spoken like a true ex-Ticat. Gives it off to Clements. A flag down again. Clements in the end zone for the touchdown. If this stands, it'll be the third touchdown of the game for Clements, and all three have come with flags down against Hamilton.
Offside. Hamilton.
And it is.
Line.
Offside. Hamilton. Mike Clements has his third touchdown of the game. Ron Lancaster mutters to himself as the Argos go over 40.
Well, there you see it's Orlando Steinhauer, and I mean, you know, he might as well be in the Toronto backfield, no question. He's offside, and doesn't matter. Pinball Clements into the end zone, as Gord mentioned, his third of the night. Pretty good night for him. Smile just gets bigger.
Eric Vigos for the point after. He's been a part of the story as well. He puts it up and through 42-6. The Argos lead. They've got a chance to make this more lopsided than the Labor Day win of 1 year ago, and who would have thought that? Certainly not him.
I mean, I really thought we would see a tight ball game tonight, and as so often happens, when you expect it, you don't get it.
What's interesting is last week, Lancaster had the Ticats kneel down with the big lead instead of going in the end zone against Edmonton. A lot of Ticat fans were unhappy about that. They remembered as far back as the 1980 Grey Cup when Edmonton poured it on against Hamilton. The Argos showing no signs of letting up here.
No, they're not. I understand the mental makeup of Ronnie Lancaster, though, and he's not one, you know, he's been around so long, he knows what goes around comes around, and he's not about to shove it down anybody's throat.
As Johnny Cash says, that old wheel is going to roll around one day.
Absolutely. And you have to give him credit for that.
You played in that 1980 Grey Cup, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Thanks for reminding me.
What was the final score?
48-10.
And the Eskimos threw until the final gun, didn't they?
I love that game. We had such a great bunch of guys at Hamilton. Obi Graves, our running back, all week said in the papers he was going to get 200 yards rushing against the best defense in the league. You don't think that motivated them?
What did he get?
Obi got about 4 yards and didn't play in the second half.
Ronald Williams on the kickoff return gets out to the 47-yard line.
Ray Jones, the former trainer of the Ticats, has stopped into the booth, and he's nodding his head because he remembers that Grey Cup, and we got spanked.
Last year was a long season for the Ticats as one loss simply led to another. This one will lead to a 6-2 record. Nothing wrong with that.
No, it's not. And again, you know, you're not going to go 17-1. I mean, I think that's impossible to think that would happen. So 6-2 after 8 games. Listen, the proof of the pudding is if you said to Lancaster in training camp, would you be happy to be 6-2 after 8 games? What do you think he would have said? Delirious.
Do we have to play the games?
Sure.
Colley back to throw, dumps it off underneath, and he's got the fullback, Jarrett Smith, rather. Jarrett Smith, the player we saw last year, play for Waterloo, two-time nominee for the Heck Crichton Trophy as the outstanding player in the CIAU. And that's the 3-minute warning as the Ticats get a chance to get some of their lesser-used players in the game, and the Argos are hanging one on them big time.
Walking out of the door, I'm on my way. Can you tell me just where I'm going? Motivational skills, don't have a clue what to do, but my mind's in motion. Come on, and tell me why you're staring. Come on, it must be what I'm wearing. Come on, and tell me why does it take so long for you to recognize and stop?
Night, Sean. Good game.
Hey, thanks, man.
Hey, that's crazy. What's on the other one?
You like late hits? Then you love NFL Extreme. It's a 5-on-5 gridiron free-for-all.
PlayStation.
CFL Live on TSN is brought to you in part by Midas Car Care, the way it should be.
Gord Miller with Leif Pettersson and Allie Pettersson. Hey, Allie, say hi to everybody at home. There you go. You got an autographed football
really
there
shy, right?
Oh, yeah.
No, it's fun for me. I've had all the family down, mom and dad down tonight, and my wife Lee, and
can't swing a dead cat up here without hitting a Pedersen tonight.
No, it's been fun up here. They've had a great time. Allie got the football there. They haven't missed a trick, and you were down to congratulate Pinball Clements on his second touchdown, were you?
There you go.
Good for you.
I'm not sure if Allie's a Ticats fan or not. She wasn't born when you were playing.
She's a fan of yours. I know that. She calls you the Joker.
She's only human. Colley throws it off underneath, incomplete for Jared Smith. That will bring up third down for the Ticats. And suddenly the Argos are back in the thick of things in the Eastern Division.
Well, you know, it's funny. At the last break, Bob Nicholson came in, the president of the Toronto Argonauts, to just say hello and wish me well. And I said, you know, what a great win for you guys tonight. And he said, boy, did we need that. We are back in the hunt, and 4-4 is looking pretty good with outstarting the year with our #1 quarterback. So you know that the Argonauts are really going to relish this win and try to build on it. And again, for the Ticats, they'll regroup. This is a good, solid football team. They just had one of those nights. Throw away the film.
Toronto is in Winnipeg next week. Osbaldiston to Steve Smith, who slips down the 16-yard line and then gets wiped out back at the 14. Rob Hitchcock and Justin Ring got down to get him. Hey, and tomorrow night, Friday night football comes your way from Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton, the Blue Bombers and the Eskimos. The blackout has been lifted in Edmonton as well for that game, so fans in Edmonton will get a chance to see their Eskimos.
I'm not going to put you on the spot, but when is the last time that Edmonton lost back-to-back games? I don't recall in many, many years. So they're going to be a cranky group tomorrow night, and for Winnipeg, it just doesn't get any easier, does it?
Well, back-to-back losses at home even is hard to imagine.
Well, for Jeff Reinbold and his group, they've got their work cut out for them. I think they've got receiving problems. I don't know if they can overcome that in 1 week. I see they let Eric Thompson go, so they've got to try and revamp, which is not an easy thing to do in week 8.
Mike Clemens on the carry. Clemens with 11 carries in the football game for 32 yards.
And that is the difference between this year and last year. He's carrying the mail a lot more, and I'm not sure that's the best thing for this club, but unfortunately, that's the hand they have been dealt.
What a change in personality for the Argos. Take out Robert Drummond at running back. Take out Mike Kiselak at center. Take out Doug Flutie at quarterback. Take out John Raposo, or pardon me, not John Raposo, Rob Waldrop at nose tackle. And take out Adrian Smith on the corner. That's 5 all-star players.
Oh, Reggie Gibbons, too. I mean, he was a great rush end for the club last year. And you know, you have to look at how they've overcome these obstacles. And, you know, as I said, Ron Lancaster would be thrilled at 6-2. I think the Argonauts have to be very pleased with 4-4.
Clemens again on the carry. Gonzalo Floyd able to bring him down as the clock approaches 2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. What's the biggest change you've seen in the league since you retired? What are the biggest changes you've seen?
You know, it's funny. We were talking about that this morning, and honestly, I mean, schemes have changed where you go from tight end and you add the slot back. Bud Riley, I think, brought that in Winnipeg, and that's been a great intervention that's carried on through. But to me, the greatest change is really the overall team speed that you see on the field. The secondaries are faster. The receiving core, essentially 4 wide receivers playing. And to me, the biggest change in the last 15 years has just been the overall attitude of we have to have team speed, and it seems like every team has that.
No question about it. And some of that speed in evidence on the field now on special teams in every aspect of the game. Prefontaine's going to take off again. This time, will he get a kick away? No. And he takes a nasty shot from Calvin Tiggle as Prefontaine turns the ball over at the 23-yard line, and the Argos are fortunate their punter didn't get hurt as he got whacked by one of the good middle linebackers in the game.
Well, I think he had an opportunity to kick that ball away, and I'm sure when they talk about it after the game, they're going to have a few laughs because it's 42-6, but I don't think he made a great choice.
Mike Colley will remain in at quarterback. 1:48 to go here in the 4th quarter. A chance for Colley to get some much-needed time. He came into the game last week, and Lancaster said the one thing he didn't want to do was have Colley run the ball all the time because it's important for Hamilton to get the backup quarterback into the game.
Yeah, you almost feel a little guilty when you do it with a big lead, but here, way behind, there's no reason why he wouldn't throw the ball and trying to get some good reps under game conditions.
Colley completes it out there to Bobby Olive, and Olive has a gain of about 6 down to the 17-yard line. Bobby Olive out of Ohio State asked Don Southern, the defensive coordinator, if he was a part of that because Don Southern played at Ohio State and still has lots of contacts down there. He says, no, actually, I'd never heard of him. I said, really? He says, I don't really watch them much anymore. He says, it was 40 years ago. In fact, it was 40 years ago this year that Don Southern kicked the winning field goal in the 1958 Rose Bowl for Ohio State.
What a great memory. I didn't think you were that old.
I can read. Golly. Going towards the end zone, back for Bobby Olive, and that pass will fall incomplete. Was it really 20 years ago that the Edmonton Eskimos began the run of 5 consecutive Grey Cups?
Yes, it was, and unfortunately, I was on the wrong end of one of them. Ronnie and I were, gosh, we had some tough battles with Edmonton in the mid-70s. It seemed like the Western Final was either going to be in Saskatchewan and Edmonton, and they had some terrific teams. And
yeah, not bad.
I still wake up about 3 in the morning, and I see Kepley coming at me.
Colley stepping in. On the run now. Look out. Oh, my goodness. Maurice Miller put him on the tee and drove him 300 yards. Whew. Yikes. You can see that coming from a mile away.
Well, to Mike Colley's credit, you know, he knew he could run, and he just said, look, I'm going to hang in and hope somebody gets open. I want a touchdown pass. And, you know.
Hey, Leaf, time for a top 5 list.
All right.
We have a little top 5 list.
Sure.
Top 5 reasons we're going to miss Leaf. It's because we're half as creative as Letterman.
No, they can't be.
Well, you know. So we're going to give you this in just a second here as Colley makes his way off. An angry Mike Colley making his way off the field as Prefontaine will come on to punt. Here's the top 5 reasons we'll miss Leaf. His passion for the CFL.
I like it.
Number 4, the telestrator. You might be able to take that home with you tonight.
They won't let me.
Number 3, strong opinion.
Really?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Not me.
You're very opinionated. Number 2, excellent analysis. And the number 1 reason we'll miss Leaf Pedersen, perfect hair.
How did I know?
You know what, Leaf? I've known you for 15 years now, and I've always wanted to do this.
There you go. You couldn't do it.
I hurt my hand.
Did you cut your hand?
I hurt my hand.
You guys, I kneue the hair thing was coming. I was ready for it. I could handle it. Allie, they're being mean to me, aren't they, honey?
Yeah, she doesn't care. She's eating. Leave Allie alone.
Well, it's been fun, that's for sure. I knew that was coming.
Just over a minute to go as Jay Barker will help the Argos try to run out the clock here as Toronto will go to 4-4 on the season. Run the option here. Little Alabama play around the corner to Mike Clemens.
And Jay Barker threw a block. We saw that earlier this year where Jay Barker was very, very happy to get out and try and throw a block for one of his running backs, and he did that again for Clemens.
Interesting to note that another guy who used to run the option pretty well here in Toronto, Doug Flutie's in action tomorrow night with the Buffalo Bills in a preseason game against Pittsburgh. And a lot of talk this week in Buffalo about the fact that Flutie has been struggling in the preseason.
He has been struggling. I mean, it's going to be a different game for him. But you know what I know, Gordon? I saw a statistic the other day. Don't quote me on it. But of all the starting quarterbacks in the National Football League last year, I think 80% of them did not play all of the games due to injury. So at some point in time, Doug Flutie's pretty confident he's going to get his opportunity. And I'm sure he has a lot of critics to try and silence. But I know one thing. If desire and determination count for anything, he's going to have a shot, and when he gets his shot, he just has to make the most of it, and you know, I hope he does.
Alex Van Pelt is the other guy he's battling there for the second string job, and Todd Collins as well. And you know, you wonder if in Buffalo they're so tough on the quarterbacks. Jim Kelly probably had a Hall of Fame career down there, and he heard booing as often as cheering down there.
Well, it's no different in any league, and you know how many times have you and I and John Wells and I gone into an opening and said in Saskatchewan there's another quarterback in controversy. So everybody always loves to love number 2 and thinks that number 2 is going to be the messiah to your offense, and very rarely is that the case.
Most popular guy in sports is always the backup quarterback.
Absolutely.
Or the number 2 goaltender.
That's right.
They're all headed for the Hall of Fame before they have to do something. A delay here as Mike Philbrick was taken off injured. 1 minute exactly to go in the 4th quarter. Toronto-Hamilton rivalry renewed. What's interesting is the Argos are about to win their 7th straight against Hamilton. Last win for the Ticaps was a classic here. Matt Dunnigan versus Doug Flutie, the season opener in 1996.
And we did that game on TSN. That was a terrific football game. And I heard a story this week, and I'm not sure if it was 100% accurate, that Don Matthews had made a statement when he lost to Hamilton a number of years ago that when Paul Beeston was the president of the Argonauts, he'd made a statement that if he ever lost a game to Hamilton again, he would resign.
Yeah.
And that surfaced this week in the Toronto papers, made for some interesting reading and some interesting conversation around town. But when Matthews was asked about that quote, he kind of just said, no, I didn't really make that. But I always kind of thought it'd be kind of funny if they did lose to Hamilton to see, in fact, what he did.
You ever hear about the guy in the Philadelphia-Pittsburgh baseball game? The Phillies broadcaster had seen them blow 3 consecutive leads. They're up 8-0 after 3 innings and said if they blew the lead, he'd walk home. They lost. They lost 10-8, and he did it.
He did?
He had to walk home.
My goodness.
He did it in the offseason for charity.
Hope he had a new pair of shoes.
Parker will take a knee once more, and there'll be one more play in your broadcasting career and in this football game, which will see the Argos go on to a 42-6 win, a convincing victory that brings smiles all around for Kerwin Bell and the Argos. They are right back in the race in the Eastern Division as they improve their record to 4-4. Montreal in action tomorrow night at Saskatchewan is at 5-2 on the season.
Well, I mean, with this victory, they are back in the hunt, and congratulations to them. They played well and very deserving of their victory tonight. Kerwin Bell with a terrific effort, and, you know, they've made it a race in the East again, and Hamilton just can't simply walk away with it.
Lancaster will make his way across the field and go back to the drawing board as the Argos record an impressive 42-6 win over the Hamilton Ticats. Back with more after this.
Play Safeway's $1 Million Touchdown to Win for your chance to win $1 million. If your name appears, it means you have won VTEX 900 megahertz digital cordless telephone with visual name and number call waiting caller ID, featuring 50 caller ID memory, 20 number speed dial storage, and backlit keypad. Or a Samsung Hi8 Hi-Fi stereo camcorder with color viewfinder, 12 times optical power zoom, built-in lens cover, and remote control. Simply treasured for now and for always. Simply Samsung. Enter your ballot at your local Safeway Food and Drug today.
It's the way we welcome the sun with 35 sunblock. The way some of the best water now mostly comes in bottles. It's the way we make time for exercise and like to enjoy reading. Today, more and more people are finding reasons to take better care of themselves. That's why Subway offers 7 subs, each under 6 grams of fat. Because when you're through surfing, you might want to go for a swim. Subway, it's the way a sandwich should be.
When you're a champion, you've got to work night and day to protect your title. Everyone wants to put you to the test, to make you sweat. But if you've got antibacterial odor fighters in your corner and 24-hour wetness protection, the kind you find in new Speed Stick Ultimate Antiperspirant, the best speed stick ever, you'll be a star in and out of the ring. New Speed Stick Ultimate, tough 24-hour protection.
5 minutes. Alliance Releasing and Airbud Golden Receiver want to send your family to the '98 Grey Cup in Winnipeg. Watch CFL football on TSN August 7th through 21st. Spot Airbud making a catch and send in a postcard telling us the date of the game and in which quarter you saw it. Include your name, address, and phone number.
I tell you one thing, boys, that ain't no golden retriever. That there's a golden receiver.
Watch CFL football on TSN for a chance to win. Airbud Golden Receiver, now playing in theaters everywhere.
Break through to the new world of Mach 3 from Gillette, the first triple blade shaving system. 3 blades specially positioned to shave progressively closer. You take 1 stroke, it takes 3. So you don't have to shave the same area over and over, which means less irritation. 3 blades, fewer strokes, less irritation. Mach 3 from Gillette.
Time now for the TSN Turning Points, and it comes early in the football game.
Well, Gord, the Argonauts struggled offensively early in this game, but late in the first quarter, they got things on track, and who better to go to than their leading receiver, Daryl Mitchell, and what a great effort. He thinks he's going to the corner, but Kerwin Bell throws it straight down the field, and great athleticism to turn around and make the touchdown reception, the first of the night for the Argos.
A cash donation will be made to the Coaching Association of Canada for the training and development of Canadian coaches in amateur sport on behalf of TSN. That is tonight's Turning Point. And that is the end point for you, Leaf. Our thanks on behalf of all of those who worked before you, Pat Marsden and Mike Wadsworth and Bill Stevenson and Frank Rigney and John Wells and the whole group. Leaf, enjoy your semi-retirement. I know you have a full-time job, and our thanks for 17 years of great work.
Thank you very much.
All right, and that'll do it for us from here, and we'll send it back to James Duthie and CFL Live Control, guys.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. And there is a reason everybody in Hamilton hates the Argos, because they do things like this. They spoil what has been a near-perfect season for the Ticats so far and win their 7th straight game against them, and a near-perfect performance, Eric Tillman.
Yeah, and it was. And as I said earlier in the game, this was a must situation for the Argos. Now they're just 2 games out of first place with a road trip next week to Winnipeg, and the Eastern Division race is getting more and more interesting, Chris.
It is getting more interesting, and you got to like what the Argos were able to do. 4 quick points. Kicker Eric Bego's very efficient. I thought Kerwin Bell, great job in terms of velocity, accuracy, offensive line, their best game outside of Joe Montford. And really, when you think about it, Daryl Mitchell, 74 catches, and James, we're not even at the half point of the season yet. He's really good.
So what do you do if you're the Hamilton Ticats? You just throw away this game film, Eric?
Well, I think you do. It's a tough loss, but I think you remember that you're 6-2. You're still in first place. I like this team. The best teams respond well to adversity, and I think we'll find out about Hamilton's character next week, and I think they'll respond favorably, James.
All right, one thing this does is shake up the standings in the CFL. The East, which could have been a runaway for Montreal and Hamilton, is getting much closer. Here are the standings in both your divisions as we head to break.
Chicken the shish kebab. Ooh, it's not looking good. He's insulting the barbecue, sending out smoke signals. Mom's about to arrive, and there she is, right on schedule. She looks around. It's a disaster zone. The play is about to be called, and...
Kids, we're going to McDonald's. Yeah! Somebody say McDonald's.
We want you to speak up. Off the record, of course. Just look for the Hotspot video display at a TSN Gatorade event in your community, and we'll videotape your comments to our Hot Topic of the Week. We'll feature the best comments on Off the Record Thursdays at 6 p.m. Hit tsn.ca/Gatorade to find a TSN Gatorade Zone event near you.
Here's where you can find the TSN Gatorade Zone across Canada.
When you're a champion, you've got to work night and day to protect your title. Everyone wants to put you to the test, to make you sweat. But if you've got antibacterial odor fighters in your corner and 24-hour wetness protection, the kind you find in new Speed Stick Ultimate Antiperspirant, the best speed stick ever, you'll be a star in and out of the ring. New Speed Stick Ultimate, tough 24-hour protection.
5 minutes.
CFL Live on TSN is brought to you by Gatorade. Is it in you? And by the new Speed Stick Ultimate Antiperspirant for tough 24-hour protection.
All right, our next game is tomorrow night. Adidas Friday Night Football. The Winnipeg, or should I say Lose-a-Peg, Blue Bombers taking on the Edmonton Eskimos. The Bombers still looking for their first victory of the '98 season. Our next edition of Sports Desk is coming up at 11 Pacific. Yeah, Big Mac did it again. He hit number 50 and 51 today. We'll show you that, plus lots more on Sports Desk at 11 Pacific. Right now, coming right up, it's the Jays in Seattle. The Jays hit 7 homers last night. They were trying to imitate Big Mac. We'll see if they can do it again. We'll see if Ken Griffey Jr. can get back in the home run race. Right here, 42-6. Argos is the final. Great night for Kerwin Bell. Oski wee-wee. No, Oski no. Tonight, the Argos all over the Ticats. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night.
See it, live it. TSN.
You're watching Major League Baseball on TSN, Canada's exclusive home of the World Series.
season it's been for Lou Piniella and the Seattle.